point, and one down for the Pirates.
Looks like a good catch there by Ryan Walker at point. The Tsunami, be a bit disappointed there. He did all the hard work to get his feet in the right place. He got there early, just maybe a little bit deceived by the bounce there by McInerney.
Yeah, it really looked like it popped up off a length there. A lot of top spin on McInerney, and he's really slowing the pace of it down. So sitting up in the wicket, and that's hard to get away. You can't tell on the screen, folks, but there's a strong breeze blowing from right to left of your screen. So it would have been hitting into the breeze there, and it did just sit up once he hit it, and simple catch there at point in the end.
That brings James McNeil to the crease, Elliot. He's coming in at number 3, and he's wearing number 3, so I like that symmetry.
Yeah, that's good symmetry, and he batted well in the first game, McNeil. Run a ball 25 or so, and he'll be looking to go on with it again here in this second game for the Pirates. They're going to need someone to step up here, the Pirates, and McInerney with the early breakthrough brings that slip into play, and I love the attacking approach here from the Southern Rockets.
And respected there by James McNeil. Yeah, interesting to bring Matthew Weaver into the first slip position there. Drennan obviously noticing that there was that little bit of bounce, and that could extract the edge.
Absolutely. As McNeil works his way down the track and can't beat the bowler, looking for that easy single down the ground there to long on, but to no avail. He's still on naught, and it's been a tight over this by McInerney as he comes in again.
Looking to use his feet again, but just deceived slightly in the flight, decides just to bail out of it and take the dot to end the over at 1 for 12, I believe, Elliot, which is 1 for 2 off that over, a key over indeed.
Yeah, and you'll take that every day of the week, the Southern Rockets. That's the third over of the power play, and really the Bayside Pirates are yet to capitalise on the field up in the power play. They're going to need to make the most of it in this over here as Honan comes in again for his second over of this spell.
The way he bowled the first one, why wouldn't you? He's looking really, really good. Same field as the previous over that he bowled.
Duval works that one around the corner. They got protection down there, 2 men out on the leg side there, and just a single down to fine leg. And Duval just looking to ease his way in here. These are the 2 batsmen that were in the runs in game 1 for the Pirates. So big responsibility this for the Pirates, for these 2 boys. And last over of the power play, you just feel like the best teams in this competition capitalise in these first 4 overs, Bo.
Yeah, very important to get those first 4 overs. At least you want to be getting about at least a run a ball, I would have thought, and obviously not losing any more than 1 wicket. Because you also want to have wickets in hand for when you can activate the rest of the power play later in the innings, where you get to choose 2 overs whenever you like, really.
Yeah, that's it. You see the dominant teams in this competition keep wickets in hand late, and really then they're able to use that power surge, which they can take in any 2 overs after 10, like you said there, Bo. They can use it to their advantage with wickets in hand and set batsmen at the crease. So yeah, a lot of bit of an interesting start this by the Pirates. The only boundary there coming off the bat of Sonam Gautam, but he's no longer at the crease. 2 new batsmen, and neither of them have been able to capitalise so far in this power play. Honan ambles in.
And slogged away over cow corner by Duval, and it's going to just reach the boundary at the mid-wicket area. There was no one back in that vicinity, and 4 runs. Interesting that when Honan decides not to dig it into the pitch, he takes some punishment.
Yeah, that's it there, and just as we were talking about them needing to capitalise on the field up, Duval takes on the infield and beats the man on the ring at mid-wicket, and that runs away. Like the sign of that little flick over mid-wicket there. Honan in again, bangs it in, and Duval can't get that one away, just the dot. But elegant shot that by Duval over mid-wicket, Bo.
Yeah, a sign of a little bit of touch, and as you mentioned, amongst the runs in the first game, so he's the benefit, I suppose, as a batter is if you're in touch and then you play again like an hour later, yeah, you got a good chance of cashing in again.
Yeah, that's it. And with a lot of these blokes playing their first round of district competition yesterday, they played a lot of cricket early. Honan comes in again. Duval takes on the man at mid-on and beats him. That'll run away for the second boundary of the over, and what a way to round out the final over of the power play. Duval getting a couple away in that final over of the power play, Bo.
Guess it's to 22-1 if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I thought that was coming straight for me. Again, he's taken on the mid-on fielder, Josh Connolly, who's up in the circle, and he gets the job done there, Duval. Looks like he's starting to find his form, and I wonder if it's a coincidence that Honan kept going for Duval's head, obviously identifying that he's not so bad off the front foot.
Yeah, that's it, and great finish there. Duval looking like he's in good touch after 20 odd in that first innings in the first game of the day there, and McInerney going to carry on here. A very tight first 2 overs, 1 for 7 after 2. Sorry. Left arm orthodox fires that one in, and a little inside edge onto the pads there for James McNeil, and still opting just for the 2-man back for McInerney. I love the attacking mindset of the spinner.
Especially with the new batter on strike, McNeil. He still hasn't got any runs away yet, if I'm not mistaken. So he's, obviously looking. Maybe he's got 1 run to his credit. No, he hasn't. Still on 0.
Good call, Bo. Works that one around the corner, and there is a man on the ring at square leg, but they get through for a single. And everyone idolises the big hits and the boundaries, but generally the team that comes out on top is the team that takes the most ones, and there's opportunities on the ring there, and the Pirates take advantage of that one. McInerney in again to Duval. Tosses it up, Duval. Happy to just knock that one down to mid-on for a single.
And interestingly, the same feel for both batters, even though Duval has shown that he's got his eye on a little bit more than McNeil. So good aggressive captaincy here from Drennan as I put the mocker on it, and they've dropped point out to a sweeper position. So they've got 3 outside the ring now, and long off as well. So 4 outside the ring.
And he tosses that one up, and McNeil leans back onto his back foot and just slashes the cut shot out to that man on the boundary that you spoke about, Bo. So good move there by Drennan, just noticing that it's time to put the men on the fence and protect a good start here by McInerney.
There's been another person placed out to the backward square leg boundary now, so they've got the full 5 outside the circle now.
And great captaincy by Drennan. You see the best teams in T20 cricket are the ones that are able to round out a good set when they get through 4 deliveries without a boundary. Just put those men on the fence and just protect it. Try and, it's about winning the contest, winning the sets. How many sets can you win? And Drennan, sensing that there was a chance for a win there for the Southern Rockets, pushed the men on the fence, and only one's the way runs of currency so far for the Pirates in that over. McInerney, I liked him to these 2 batsmen.
Yeah, it's just turning the ball a little bit away and getting a little bit of extra bounce and bowling nice and slow, so really tempting the batters to come forward. And you saw McNeil trying to use his feet, but just couldn't quite get where he wanted to be. As it looks like Josh Connolly's coming into the attack.
Yeah, Josh Connolly into the attack, and Jack Hargreaves joining us on the boundary here. Right armour. Ooh, bit of turn there, and Duval works that one around the corner. They come back for 2. They settle for 1. And Duval works that one away with the spin.
Thought Hargreaves was in the action there with that delivery, but it was turned to fine leg instead of long on.
Wouldn't mind seeing a bit of his right arm off spin later on today, perhaps. Hargreaves. Or reverse sweep by McNeil. And beats the men in the ring. And is that going to reach the fence? It won't. Great work in the... No, it's made it. Great shot by McNeil. Switches hands. Senses that the men on the ring there, there's an opportunity for a boundary, and against the spin, beats them and picks up a boundary bow. Not
a bad shot when you're on single digits. That's very brave. But as you rightly mentioned, and it has forced a change in the field now. Instead of having point and sort of like a wideish gully in the circle, they've dropped point back to the boundary now.
Tosses that one up again, and McNeil works it out to the man on the boundary at square leg for 1. And we saw him try to get a few of those reverse sweeps away in the first game, but he couldn't quite get them away. So it looks like that first game advantage coming into play there, like you mentioned, Bo.
Oh, bang! Hargreaves in the game here. Won't quite get the catch, and they run 2. pretty good shot there from Duval. Hits it straight enough that he doesn't get himself into trouble, straight towards the sight screen, but well fielded by Hargreaves as he cuts off the boundary and keeps it to 2.
Thought he might have been in with a chance of a screamer there, Hargsy, great fielder. As Connolly comes in again, these right arm off spin. Batsmen fancying their chances here as we've seen a bit more aggression coming from Duval. Can't get that one away. Yorked himself as he came down the track, but Connolly tempting the batsman as he comes in again. Tosses it up, Duval!
Now he's in the game now, and he still won't make it. The good thing is that was right in front of the camera, so everyone could see as Hargreaves was charging in. Left no stone unturned in effort, but couldn't quite make it there, Elliot.
Love to see that from the spinner, tossing him up, inviting the batsman to play the big shot, take on the fieldsman on the fence, and Duval taking the invitation, not quite getting all of it, and getting out of jail free, you'd have to say there, as Hargsy can't quite get in, but still just the 1 to the score, as it looks like McInerney's going to come in and bowl out his 4 in the first 8 overs of the game here.
Well, looks like the Southern Rockets are onto a good thing here. They found, Connor McInerney probably wouldn't have been identified as someone that you're going to give your maximum overs to, but while it's working, may as well, because it keeps your options open later in the game as Duval gets on the back foot and edges to a vacant third man region for 2.
Yeah, love to see the look of Duval as he rocks back on the back foot there. Quite a stylish player, Duval. So yeah, nicely worked there, backward inside finer than third man who's on the ring there. Sort of a backward point, and he looked for it again there as he opened the face, but can't quite beat the man at backward point.
Good type bowling on that occasion there. Didn't give him the chance to free his arms. It was a risky shot, and he sort of bailed out of it.
Yeah, great line this McInerney. And wow, he tossed that one up, and Duval takes him on, but just down the ground for 1. It's really pitching and sitting in the outfield out there, Bo. So quite the contrast to downhill towards us in the combox here.
Yeah, it looks almost, I was going to say it's slightly uphill in that direction, isn't it, towards the old Toowoomba Road end. As McNeil, oh no! Oh, McNeil, goes for the reverse again. It worked so well in the previous over, but alas, Connor McInerney a little bit too wily, bowls it a little bit slower. I think he was deceived for the pace of the ball there, Elliot.
Yeah, and you saw James McNeil get 1 away with that reverse sweep over the infield in the over before. But yeah, just tossing it up a bit more there, McInerney, and clever bowling, you'd have to say, as he chopped it on. Gee, would have been a tough shot to get away against the slower bowler into the wind, the infield on the ring. And yeah, gee, costly wicket that for the Pirates.
Just as they were starting to gain some momentum, but alas, maybe just trying to overhit it a little bit, maybe the softer approach, more of a lap might have achieved a better result there. However, it brings the new batter to the crease. It's Andy Michael, who's had a couple of years away from the game. Had a pretty reasonable return last weekend playing for the Bayside Pirates. Scored a few runs, looks the part. You can tell, even though he's been away for a couple of years, he's certainly a class player, and anyone will be able to see that in a moment with the technique that he has. How'd he go in the first game? Did he play?
Yeah, not a bad all-rounder, old Andy Michael. Bowled his 4 quite cleanly for the Pirates and nudged him round for a few runs as well. He'd be looking for a few more in this innings as McInerney slides that one down the leg side and the umpire hangs him up for a wide.
Looked a bit faster, that one from McInerney. Like, wanted to just dot the new batter up there. Just gets it slightly wrong.
McInerney in again, off his short run up. Michael works it in just towards square leg, and short fine runs around. They just keep it to 1.
Nice deft touch there from Michael, and a good chance to get off the mark there.
Liking the look of Duval here. He just did the same in the first innings, got himself to 20 off a run and ball. He'll be looking to capitalise here now, and the Pirates need him to go on with it. And that is a great spell by Connor McInerney. 2 for 16 off his 4. You'll take that every day of the week in T20, especially as a spinner. And tight spell to kick things off here for the Southern Rockets.
Absolutely. It looks like Captain Lee Drennan is sort of leaning heavily on his spinners here, trying to bleed as many dots out of the Bayside Pirates as he can and tempt them into bigger shots. which we have seen a few of, and I think that scoreboard pressure and that taking the pace off the ball yielded that result in the last over for McInerney.
Oi! And he's bowled him.
Bowled him!
Andy Michael, he's gone to pull a shorter ball off Connolly there, and just kind of gone underground almost, and cleans up the stumps, rattles the woodwork, and another wicket down for the Southern Rockets. Joshua Connolly, wicket time for the Southern Rockets. Yeah, looks like maybe this wicket's a bit up and down. Perhaps that's what Drennan saw in the first game. The slower bowlers a bit more harder to play on this wicket, and certainly looks like it from where we're sitting, Bo.
Well, you can see that Michael was trying to force the pace there. Like, you have to play an aggressive shot to yield any sort of chance of getting big runs here. And I for the life of me, I couldn't actually see him getting bowled. I thought it hit him on the pads. So I was going to talk about it being pitching outside leg, not out, and then suddenly it's bowled him out. So yeah, Michael disappointed there. He scored just the one off the two legal deliveries that he faced. So big wicket there for the Bayside Pirates to try and come back from, as their captain and wicketkeeper Clay Beams comes to the crease. The AFL player for the Brisbane Lions. He played 50 odd games for the Lions in the top grade.
Brother Dane, also a successful footy player in the big time, but yeah, Joshua Connolly played most of his cricket at Sandgate, but he's recently moved to Norths, and in the mix here with an early pole in his second over, and looks like it's coming out nicely. Played a bit of second 11 cricket too for the ACT, Bo.
Oh, really? I wonder if he's good at the indoor cricket. They love the indoor cricket down at ACT. The Florist boys, for example.
As he comes in again, and Beams, he's pushing to point and force the
direct
signal.
hit.
Direct hit, not out,
Ooh.
says the umpire, but Duval not having a bar of that, sending him back from the non-striker's end. And that's what a wicket does in this format of cricket, Bo. Puts the pressure on, few dots, and pressure's on the Pirates now.
Little bit of nerves there from Clay Beams. It's I think a good choice here. Maybe he's disrupted his clothing after the dive, but I think just, okay, take a breather, take a second, because we don't need any more wickets at this stage for the Bayside Pirates. If you're Clay Beams, you're the captain of the Bayside Pirates, for the next 5 overs or so, what's your strategy? Are you trying to play the big shots, or?
Yeah, no, I'd say they're just going to look to consolidate here. They need to build a partnership. As we mentioned, they've still got their 2 overs up the sleeve in the power surge after 10, and you want 2 set batsmen from your top 6 in the middle for them. So you're looking to just consolidate a partnership, I'd say, knock it around, the field's back, but they're going to need ones. Dots aren't going to cut it, and dots as good as wickets, you feel, in this format. Builds the pressure. Scoreboard's not ticking over, and Beams, that'll be in the back of his mind as the skipper.
Absolutely.
In again, works that one around the corner, and 3 runs down the leg side there as Beams works it around with a sweep, and they come back for 2.
The key was there, he didn't try and overhit that. He placed it nicely down to fine leg, and there was plenty of space because there's really only a deep backward square, so able to sneak a couple of cheeky runs.
Yeah, the great thing about the franchise cricket is the opportunity for players from all forms of cricket, all grades, different types of different stages rather of their career, to come back in and play some high quality cricket. And or the reverse sweep, and Beams gets it away, beats third man, and that's going to run away. It is slow down there on that far end, and just the 2 to settle. But yeah, just touching on again, as I was mentioning, the Brisbane Premier League providing a great opportunity for a variety of players to play together in franchise cricket. I thought of it because we had Hargsy here on the boundary, first grade player for the Gold Coast Dolphins last year. Unfortunately, Saturdays aren't available anymore with the police school, and an opportunity to remain at the high level of cricket on Sundays in the Brisbane Premier League. So it's an incredible initiative, Bo. Yes, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun too. It's a good vibe out here, carnival atmosphere. Big shout out to all the organisers at the BPL, and of course our major sponsors, including Mazda and Forex, who have got behind us and done a really great job. Absolutely love the sponsors, and looking forward to getting back to Redlands on finals day in a couple of weeks' time in Brizzy. See a good atmosphere there as I love this left arm Chinaman, and Beams really forcing the issue from the non-striker's end, and Duval having none of it, sends him straight back. And that's a dot as Ryan Walker, the new bowler for the Southern Rockets, left arm Chinaman, looks like they're coming out nicely. In again, rips it, and that's a great shot by Duval.
There is a sweeper out there though.
Just a single. Gee, it looks stylish as he leans back and plays that cut shot, Duval. But just the one. You'd say they'd be looking to tip the scoreboard over a bit more here, but need to keep the wickets in hand here, the Pirates. So a bit of a catch-22. There's Walker in again.
Lovely shot. Good touch there from Beams, identifying that the short third man a little bit square and an easy two. He's a touch player, Beams. I watched him in the first round last week, and he was very much about playing the ball probably behind square more than in front, but can certainly generate some power with those shots. The sweep particularly, Damien Fleming would call him the sweepologist, I'd say, as we see him launch into one that beats the fielder and goes for four that crashes into it looks like a Pajero of some sort out there in the car park.
You take the freebies when you get them. That's the benefit of just knocking them around in this early stages of this partnership, Bo. And Beams there taking full advantage of the full toss. And 4 runs the total. That's what they'll need. A couple more boundaries key here for the Pirates, and Beams making no mistake there. Is the danger of the leggy. Brings about the wickets, but the loose ball is bound to come, and fully coming there on the fourth ball of this over. It's been a tight one so far from Walker. And again, looks like the googly.
Yeah, good call. How did you see that from about 85 metres away?
Mate, a leg spin enthusiast myself. I must be the tallest man to bowl leg spin. But passion for the leg spin and the Chinaman. And again, he's gone the wrong, and that one's gone wide, and really a bit of bite off the wicket there. Looks like it's come out of the hand nicely there for Walker, but it's turned away, and that's not the line he's looking for his wrong-un. But if he can get that straighter, it's going to be trouble for the right-hander.
I was going to say, obviously it was a shocking delivery, but a little bit of encouragement there with the bite that you're talking about.
Yeah, you feel like if you're the skipper Drennan behind the stumps there's an opportunity for wickets if he can get that a bit straighter. And with the field on the boundary, you don't mind taking the risk with the spinner, because if he's going to pick up a couple of wickets in his 4, then it's worth leaking a couple of boundaries if they do come.
Absolutely. So that brings the 9th over to a conclusion. 53 for 3.
3 for 53 here after 9, and almost a tentative start, you'd have to say, Bo, for the Pirates. But if they can keep wickets in hand, it's going to be key. Get a couple of these boys through, and at the crease for the power surge after 10 overs. You'd say they'll have to take it straight away if these boys are still at the crease, Bo. Yeah,
one thing I've noticed as Connolly comes in and is dispatched to the sweeper out on the leg side boundary there just for a single, one of those sweeps again from Clay Beams. One thing I've noticed from a lot of teams in this competition thus far that I've commentated on at least, they've tended to wait until the end of the innings. And I'm not sure it's been the best tactic because, by then you've got batters 8, 9, 10, 11 in and they're not set. And I think there could be an opportunity here in the next couple of overs, say, to use these established batters to capitalise on the fielders coming in.
Yeah, and you called it early with Beams. He's playing that sweep shot nicely. The bones out of that sweep shot before, but straight to the fielder. He'd be looking to get it wider again, and he goes for the sweep again, but straight to the man at 45 there just for one. But gee, that sweep shot looks good from Beams.
Yeah, he does love it, and he will bring out that reverse lap as well a fair bit. Hopefully to better effect than McNeil the second time he tried it.
Connolly in again. Bit quicker through the air, that one. And Duval works it out to the man at deep square. They push hard on the first, but they'll just settle for one here. And score trickles over to 57, midway through the 10th over here. And yeah, just going back to what you said before, Bo, you feel like getting runs on the board early while the set batsmen are there is the key here, and they'll feel like teams would be missing a trick if they don't take the power surge as soon as they can with set batsmen in.
Mm-hmm.
Connolly in again, tosses that one up,
Oh!
and that rips back.
He's almost played it on.
Wowee, that looks like he's getting a bit of grip out there, Joshua Connolly, and Beams just looking to work that one around the corner, gets an inside edge, and he's lucky not to chop it on there. Dot ball the result, and they'll take that. Southern Rockets, Connolly, and again, final delivery of the over. Tosses it up.
Nice use of the feet, but straight to the deep mid-wicket fielder, who's Sam Neal out there to keep it just to the single, and that ends the over. So 5 from it, just 5 singles, makes it 58 for 3 off 10 overs. And as you mentioned, the power surge is now able to be taken. It'll be interesting to see whether they do. Looks like Ryan Walker is going to continue. I would be very tempted to take it, especially with such a great sweeper in Clay Beams out there.
Yeah, you feel like maybe they've, this is a tactical play here from the Pirates. The leggy did provide a couple of loose ones in that over before, so maybe capitalise on the spinner, on the loose ones from the spinner this over, and then maybe pick up the power play in the over after this one from the Pirates. Here he is again, the left arm Chinaman. Wrongin, oh! That's the line he's looking for with the googly. Beams works it around the corner, they come back for 2. The man on the legs, square leg boundary there, tearing in, but they are able to pick up a couple there. What do you think's the par total on this wicket, Bo? 60 after 10. What are they looking for here?
Well, in the previous game, 144 was scored in the first innings, and it was chased in the last over. So I would say 140-ish seems like a reasonable total with a slowish outfield, slowish pitch as well.
There's that wrong, and again, it looks like he's bowling it pretty often here. Ryan Walker, he's found his range, and why not? If they're coming out like that, that's it's going to be hard to play. And again, left armour. That's it. Oh, there's the sweep that you keep talking about, Bo, and he's absolutely nailed that one. But just the one out to the man on the square leg boundary. So 140, you reckon?
Yeah, so
defendable on this wicket.
Basically, I think 130 is defendable if you're bowling well enough, but you really want to be putting some more pressure on the second batting team. I think runs on the board are very key on a slow wicket. So anything is good, but if I'm the Pirates, I'm looking to score about 8 and over from here to get to that 140 mark.
Yeah, they're in the box seat here with wickets in hand, still got the power surge to go, and the 1s and 2s starting to come along more freely now. And yeah, as you said, scoreboard pressure can't be underestimated in the shorter format. As Walker in again, the Chinaman. That's the wrong end, and wowee, Duval laying back on that cut shot again, but just can't pierce the infield. And another dot.
It's been an interesting move from Drennan here to bring number 21 Reece McDonald to a finer short third man, as he goes big to long off, straight down his throat and taken. A risky shot with the fielders back in that position, and unfortunately another start for Duval without going on with it.
And God, that's frustrating if you're in the coaching staff of the Pirates, Bo. You want the set batsman there when the power surge is taken, and with only 1 ball to go in the over, Duval, you feel like maybe just knock that one along the ground for 1 and be there for the power surge in the next over. Alas, picked out the man on the boundary at mid-off, and he's in the shed, and that brings out the youngster, Harry
Clark Burnham.
Harry Clark Burnham. Stylish batsman, this young fella from the sunny coast.
In the previous round, I commentated on him, and he did look really good. Hit the ball very sweetly. Played traditional cricket shots a lot of the time. His nickname is HCB. I've anointed him high class batter. He is quite handy, and his mum was in earshot when I said that, and she giggled incessantly. So I'm going to stick with it. High class batter.
High class batter to the crease. What can he produce here? The Bayside Pirates are going to need something special from him. He was part of the Sunny Coast collapse yesterday. All out for 83 yesterday.
Ooh.
Yeah, tricky game that one against Ipswich. Ipswich put 300 on the board, and they were rolled for 83 here at Ivor Marsden. So he'll be looking to redefine his relationship with the ground today. And with a nickname like HCB,
high-class batter.
Yeah.
He's got 9 overs to work with here, importantly. He hasn't had much time in previous games in the BPL, so looking forward to seeing what he can do. Give himself maybe 10 or 15 balls to really get set, and then he can maybe go a bit. As there's a misfield at long off, providing the opportunity to come back for 2. Good awareness from Clay Beams. Didn't give up on the play. Ran the first one hard, put the pressure on, and 2 runs the result. And a nice off drive to get Burnham going there.
I'd like to see the field a bit tighter here for the new batsman. Connolly's bowled well, and you don't want to be gifting the new batsman an opportunity to get off strike. So I think they've missed a beat here, the Southern Rockets. New batsman at the crease, Connolly's bowling well, runs aren't flowing. Put the pressure on the young fella, I say.
Especially with 4 wickets down. If you get another 1 or 2 here through pressure, the game's yours for the taking at that point, as he just gets a bit of grip and slips down the leg side for
really
a wide.
Giving it a rip, isn't he? Joshua Connolly, the right arm off spinner. Attacking that stump to stump line, straight field here. Got men everywhere on the leg side boundary. Connolly in again, tosses it up. HCB works it around the corner, and just the one out to square leg.
Got a couple of sweepers out there now.
So just the 4 men out here for the Southern Rockets. As we say that, the man pushes back to the cover boundary for the set batsman Clay Beams. 16 off 15 rocks. It's looking promising here. Connolly in again, bit quicker through the air. Beams works it down to long off for a single. Been a good set this by Connolly, and interesting to see how they play this one, the Bayside Pirates.
Yeah, I think the important thing here is to give HCB a little bit of time to get set before they start thinking things like power surge. You've got to be thinking that 6 or 7 off and over with no wickets for the next maybe 2 or 3 might just be enough to get them the platform they need to play the more expansive shots.
A couple of key players out for the Pirates this week. They are without Trent Keep and Simon Malenko, a couple of key players last week for the Pirates. So it's hurt their middle order, the Pirates. You're missing those experienced players.
Malenko looked really good last week.
Beams, he's absolutely picked the bones out of that with that sweep shot you keep talking about, Bo, and forward a square, that'll be a boundary. And the Pirates away there with a boundary.
Good way to finish the over. A little bit of AFL came out of him there, because there's some AFL posts at the square leg boundary. He's just missed the behind though. It's gone out of bounds. So, but he will get 4 regardless. A fantastic shot
from outside 50.
It was well outside 50. He has moosed that though, hasn't he? It's definitely a favourite shot of his.
Yeah, so I'd love to see this out in the centre there. The experienced Beams out there with the young HCB. Good opportunity for the young fella to be around some experienced older players, and he's put himself in some testing situations here, HCB, so plenty of growth opportunities here for the young fella. Up against it, they're going to need him to stand up. 4 for 73 after 12, Bo.
Just over a run of ball. That's not such a bad spot to be in, as HCB goes the sweep shot. Gets it behind square. They'll look for 2, but good fielding on the boundary there from Weaver. Keeps it to 1.
Yeah, with all these sweep shots going on, you feel that maybe the pitch is playing a bit slower. So it'll be interesting to get a bit of an inside word in the innings break from the batsman. Plenty of cross-bat shots, and they're coming off. Walker in again, the left-arm Chinaman. Sweeper again. Pretty close, but perhaps bad on that one as he beats 45, and they come back for 2. Umpire signals leg byes, so perhaps just pitching outside leg bye.
Yeah, was it the googly? I couldn't quite tell.
It was the googly out of the hand, yeah.
Yeah, maybe pitched outside leg.
Yeah. Brings Clay Beams onto strike. He absolutely nailed a sweep shot in the previous over. If you're just joining us, be a good battle this. Walker, googly again. Beams goes the sweep, the full toss, and with men on the boundary, it's going to fall safe. And just the one.
He's maybe lucky he didn't quite get much of that at all. It's landed more or less just next to the umpire there at square leg. He was definitely trying to hit it a bit further than that, but a single, the result, and a good result for the Pirates. You don't want to be losing your captain at this stage.
Oh, there's the googly again. It's coming out nicely now, Walker, that googly. Took him a couple to find his range, but pitching them nicely now.
A premeditated shot there from HCB, and Drennan has moved. It's Reece McDonald back to that fine-ish short third man.
Tosses that one up and works it down the ground for one. Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear about the wicket. Just looks like maybe it's a bit slow, maybe it's sitting up a bit. Hasn't really been too many big shots down the ground, Bo.
No, that's right. And when there have been, it's either plugged in the field or it's been out, as Duval found out.
Beams works that one away. They're hard at the first. They come back for the second, and it's good running from the boys. Sweeper sitting on his heels on the boundary, and the Pirates making the most of that one with 2. Score still sitting in the balance, 4 for 80 after 13, and yeah, you feel like maybe 130 is the total they're going for, Bo.
Well, that puts you at 50 runs off the last 42 balls. With a power surge in hand, they might even be disappointed with 130 at that point, I would have thought. They really should be looking at the 140 plus mark here.
Yeah, new bowler in, Nick McGill. Played for the Queensland under-17s and 19s. So looks like he's coming in for a couple of off-spinners.
Interestingly, only 2 overs of pace bowling at this stage. I think that tells you a lot about what the captain Lee Drennan has observed about this pitch.
Yeah, so it looks like spin is the way to go on this slower wicket. And what can McGill produce? Got fielders on the fence, deep square, cow corner, long on, deep cover and long off. And he comes, tosses it up, right. Oh, looks like it's popped off a length there.
Just a bit slower.
Yeah, it really looks like the slower bowlers are harder to get away on this wicket, though.
Yeah, I mean, when it pops like that off a length, you don't mind seeing that at all as an off spinner.
McGill in again. Downtown, and Hargreaves in the game here. Swallows it. Great fielder Hargreaves, and it's wicket time. HCB goes early, and wickets causing pressure to mount here for the Pirates, Bo.
Speaking of pressure, the pressure on Hargreaves, as we're calling his name from earshot, he must have loved that. But he takes it well, gets down low and takes it well under pressure. HCB not handling the pressure of the situation. Obviously, they want to try and build that scoreboard as much as possible. And again, another key wicket at a time when you're looking to find a power surge. It's disappointing. They keep finding wickets at regular intervals here.
Yeah, and pressure really on Clay Beams here now. The skipper's going to have to stand up and guide this ship through for the Pirates into the final 6 overs. And with 24 off 20, looks like he's in a good space. Going to have to work with the new men at the crease.
Yeah, Dylan Kritzinger is coming to the crease.
Great catch there by Hargreaves. Fielding in front of the com box here. We called his name as the high ball went, and safe hands from the soon-to-be policeman.
Do you reckon he'd make an alright policeman?
Mate, commanding figure. Look at that rig. Spending a lot of time under the bench press, Hargreaves with a chest like that. Missing him down at the Dolphins. But, looking forward to seeing him bat later on. Beams. Gonna need to go on with it here, Bo. Last 6 overs for the Pirates.
Yeah, they really need him, especially for the power surge, but a bit of red ink would certainly help the Pirates build that total above that 130, 140 mark.
Yeah, kind of feel like he missed a beat there with the half tracker, couldn't capitalise. Just the one brings the new man, Dylan Kritzinger, to the crease. Kritzy. And, that's banged it down the ground. Tossed that one up there. Nick McGill invited a big shot, but just the one down the ground. Big last name for a spinner, McGill.
Yes, I was going to say it's
turning it the opposite way to our man Stewart.
I wonder if he'll also take 200 plus test wickets.
McGill in again, a bit quicker through the air to set batsman Beams, and he can't get that one away. Great take there. Drennan, clean hands behind the stumps. Just looking to get through the over here, and McGill in again. A bit quicker through the air. Beams lets that one go through to the keeper. And another over down for the Pirates, and not much damage done. The Rockets will take that one. Another win, you'd have to say.
Absolutely, another spinning over, another win for the Southern Rockets. I don't think it's a coincidence as the call comes out for number 2 to go and get a haircut. That's Nick McGill they're talking about. Mate, he doesn't need a haircut at the moment. He's just taking poles.
Do whatever you want if you're taking wickets, say, Bo. And McGill, really, you've seen that a lot this competition, actually. Spinners using pace as their main variation, and really is proving to be the undoing of lots of batsmen so far. So clever bowling by the spinners. As we see a change of bowler, and can't make out who it is from here. Drennan just calling the shots there.
Reece McDonald coming into the attack.
Coming in.
Bit of pace for just the 3rd time in this innings.
Played a bit of second 11 cricket and plays a lot of country cricket for Queensland. Nick McDonald, old Macca from the Gold Coast, playing for Broadbeach Rabina. As we were saying earlier, great feature about this competition. Opportunity for competitive cricketers from the local A-grade comps to come and mix it with the best in the state here. And Macca, what can he produce? The seamer. Oh, looks like an in-swinger, and they've worked that one onto the leg side, and they'll settle for 1.
Really good work there. He's gone straight for the Yorker length, and he's pretty much nailed it. And then a good piece of fielding off his own bowling keeps it at 1.
Love to see that off the big fast bowler. Doing his own fielding off his own bowling. Skipper will be happy with that.
He's 37 years old, but he moves like a man of 36 or even younger.
Yeah. And that'll bring Clay Beams on strike. What can he produce? 25 off 23, run a ball or thereabouts. Fielder's still on the fence on the leg side. Feels like he's fancying himself there with the in-swing of Macca. Advances down and picks the man up at mid-wicket for a dot. Good set so far. Big change up with the seamer. We've seen spin be quite successful so far this innings, Bo.
But on the same principles, like if the ball's holding up for a spinner, it probably will also hold up, be a little bit muggy in the pitch for the pace bowlers as well. It could be difficult to find your timing as Beams smashes, well, it sort of lifts it over square leg umpire's head for a single to the deep backward square leg fielder.
Just for 1, brings Kritzinger onto strike. Kritzy missed out in the first game, but he'll be looking to go big here. Coming into the last 5 overs for the Pirates, they're going to need to put the foot down. McDonald in again. Looks like he got that one out of the screws, looking for a single down the ground, but Macca again doing the fielding off his own bowling. Big fella getting a mid on that one. And Kritzinger, just the 2 off his first 3 deliveries, so just easing in again. Tough going for the batsman today under a muggy sky here at Ipswich. Macca.
It's a little bit of a slower ball there from McDonald, and well played by Kritzinger. Seemed to adjust and just knocked it to mid on for a single.
Clay Beams on the strike. You just wonder what the skipper's saying to the new batsman with 5 overs to go here. Pirates, do they hit out or keep wickets in hand for that power surge to come? Beams, 26 off 25. He's looked pretty good so far, Bo.
Absolutely. I'm just wondering whether he is thinking about taking that surge in the next over, just because he might just need to understand that the other end might lose batters, but while he's there, that's their best chance of scoring runs during the power surge. But curious as we come into the last 5 overs whether he takes that on. And the power surge has been called here, which means that we have 12 legal deliveries of 2 fielders outside the inner circle for the Southern Rockets, which gives the Bayside Pirates an opportunity to attack with Kritzinger on strike to start with. But I do think it's probably a good idea at this point for Clay Beams to try and seize the momentum of the match while he's out there. Looks like we have a change in the bowling as well, with number 13, Sam Neal, coming into the attack. He is also a pace bowler. Young all-rounder from the Norths Club. He's also from Toowoomba, as it turns out, and he has played Queensland under-19s. Lee Drennan's been holding him back at this point, mainly because the spinner's been doing the job. He starts down the leg side with a wide. Does Sam Neill. Just the fourth over of pace bowling in the innings, and the power surge being called. They've got two fielders back, one at deep square leg and one at deep mid wicket. So plenty of runs over the offside if the opportunity presents. But a good straight line there from young Sam Neill.
Singer works that one around the corner as you might hear a big fighter jet taking off on the airfield. Right next to the wicket here, and quite a sight.
Yeah.
7 for 7.
That is super cool.
The Pirates will be looking for their score to take off here, folks, in the last few overs of this power surge. Clay Beams, the set batsman. What can he produce? Neil in again. Digs that one in, and top edge over third man. It's a big top edge, and that runs away for a boundary. Not where he wanted it to go, but you'll take the runs. They all look the same in the scorebook, Bo.
The advantage of having the power surge is that the fielders come up, and Lee Drennan has an interesting choice to make. He can see that Clay Beams is a leg side heavy player, so having protection back on the leg side, the obvious choice, and unfortunately for the Rockets, that will sometimes lend itself to boundaries on the offside.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting shout to bring the paceman on for the power surge. Thought spin might have been harder to get away as Beams works that one onto the onside. They've run hard the first man from wicket coming in. Come back for two quite comfortably though.
Good athlete, Beams. You can see that he's one of those busy cricketers. You know, he's probably not the one that's going to hit the biggest sixes or anything like that, but if he can just find the occasional boundary, run that first one hard, turn ones into twos, put pressure on the fielders and the bowlers, he could generate a good 40 plus not out score here and seize some momentum for his team. As he goes big over mid on, Hargreaves goes.
Oh, what a catch. Hargsy with his second grab of the day, and that was a cracker running backwards towards the camera.
Yeah.
Hargs, great pair of hands.
That was an uncharacteristic shot there from Clay Beams. Obviously with the power surge, he's decided that he's going to take the game on a little bit more, and it has not come to fruition there. An excellent catch from Hargreaves, having to run back. It looked like about 10 metres or so over his left shoulder. He's a right-handed player, so that's his wrong side as well. Excellent catch.
How often do we see that, Bo? The power surge called and players just looking to force the issue with the field up, and it's a great initiative about T20 cricket. It either brings big runs or big wickets, and that one a big wicket for the Southern Rockets. The skipper of the Bayside Pirates, Clay Beams. He's looked to force the issue there off Sam Neill, and Hargreaves on the ring at mid-on, runs backwards and swallows that one. 6 down now, the Pirates, 93 on the board with 4.2 overs to go. So, new batsman here, Brendan Honeybrook, going to need to keep the momentum going here.
Honeybrook is a batting all-rounder from South. He's 30 years old, bit of experience, has had some injury problems in the last couple of years, but he is more than capable of hitting some runs here for the Pirates.
Yeah, it just looked like it's straightening up off the seam there. Squared the new batsman Honeybrook up, and that puts my theory of spin to dead. Neil, it's been very hard to get away this over so far, Bo.
Yeah, very unfortunate to concede that boundary as he did, because that was a fluky shot there from Beams. So yes, he's had a fantastic over.
Neil in again. Digs it in, squares him up again. Gee, I love the look of Neil. Banging that one in, straightened up off the wicket. And Dylan Kritzinger there. Can't do much with a seed like that. And that's the end of the first power surge over, Bo.
Good to see a young player, Sam Neill. He's 19 years old, played a little bit at state level from Toowoomba. He's standing up to the pressure. That was a pressure over the power surge against a set batter in Clay Beams, and he came out on top.
Yeah, great set that one from Sam Neill. quality all-rounder from Toowoomba. Played his Queensland under-19s last year, and gee, there's some talented cricketers getting around, Bo.
And amongst them, Reece McDonald coming back in for his second over to Honeybrook, who's going to face his first delivery. It looks like the field they're going for. It looks like they're dropping square leg back and long on back for Honeybrook.
So Honeybrook, quite a handy left arm bowler. Got the big wicket of Liam Hope Shackley in grade cricket yesterday. And what can he do here? Winds up and bangs that one down the ground to long on, but just the one.
Oh, didn't he like a backswing on that? It was teeing off.
Looked like he was ready to put that one into the airfield across the road, but settles for one down the ground and brings Dylan Kritzinger onto strike. McDonald in again. Great line and outside edge beats short third man, and that'll run away for another boundary. They've loved that region today, Bo.
Like, doesn't matter how you get them. A bit unlucky there for Reece McDonald as it skews away off the edge for 4 there for Dylan Kritzinger. And look, maybe that's what Dylan needs to get his game going here with just 4 deliveries left in the power surge.
Yeah, the Pirates 6 down. Kritzinger, another leading edge, and great catch coming in from cover on the ring. He looked like he was on his heels there at the ring, but he's run in and taken a great catch diving forward, and that's the end of Dylan Kritzinger. McDonald providing the answer for the Southern Rockets, and wickets again falling at regular intervals for the Pirates. It's been the downfall for them today, and you just feel like if you want to be in the business end of this competition, you need some of your top 6 to step up, and the Pirates yet to have that in either of their games today or in this competition so far, Bo.
Yeah, like 20's okay, but you really do need that one player to at least be going 40 plus at a decent rate of knots. And as you rightly say, it has been a struggle for them, and it has been a struggle today as well. Some set batters getting out at inopportune times as Josh Henderson comes to the crease. Can hit a big ball, he's a big man. It looks like Honeybrook doesn't mind to wind up as well, so these next 27 balls or so could be very, very interesting.
Yeah, so he loves a long ball, the new batsman Hendo. Fancies himself with a couple of Dorothys, so let's see if he can put any over the rope here. McDonald into Henderson. And acrobatic attempt there again from Hargreaves, but it just beats him on the ring, and they come back for 2. Wowee, that would have been an absolute perler if he could bring that one in.
Wouldn't have been. It was a fantastic effort from Hargreaves, but Honeybrook just gets enough on it with that huge backswing to get 2 runs out long off there.
Looks like he's really backing himself in for a bomb here. And that is a great rock again from McDonald. He's bowled his over so well here in the power surge. Pirates, God, the only boundaries they've got so far in this power surge have been outside edges through third man, so nothing too convincing. But Henderson.
Good experience here from McDonald. Just getting on those pads, understanding that he's got protection back on the leg side, trying to hit the pads really, get dot balls, get ones. Fantastic over.
Jammed in for room there, 100 up for the Pirates either way, and 3 overs to go here. Feel like maybe they'd be happy with 130 as you mentioned, Bo. Could be a total to have on the board, and scoreboard pressure always counts for something regardless of how much it is. Still got to get them.
That's true, but yeah, like you'd have to be thinking of 120 minimum here.
Yeah, you feel like the Pirates, a couple of big hitters in at the crease now with Honeybrook and Henderson, looking to wind up. They'll be looking to go downtown here in these last few overs, but the field back on the rope now after the power surge, so they're going to have to beat the men on the rope.
Honeybrook's just gone for a new blade. I wonder if that's a strategic move or whether it was a bit cooked the previous one, as he faces up to Sam Neill, who bowled a tremendous first over the power surge. Bang!
Bangs that one down the ground. It looks like he's called for his driver. He's swapped clubs out. Wants to swap the 7-iron for the big dog. Bangs that one down the ground for a single, but he's really looking like he's trying to wind up here, Honeybrook.
And look, why not with 17 balls left? And as we said, really need to get above 120. They do need to go faster than a run of ball, and realistically, I think 130 plus has to be their game still. So that's about 10 runs and over from this point. At least a boundary and over has to be the goal.
Yeah, and with the run rate just sitting under 6 and over, you'd have to say the Southern Rockets would back themselves in. Neil in again. Oh!
What happened there?
Looks like Henderson tried to work that one down the leg side, caught the outside edge, and caught Drennan by surprise as it went back towards third man. Got a glove on it, but just the two.
Yeah.
Third man bow.
Given leg buys by the umpire, so
buys.
must have hit maybe the back thigh of Henderson or something like that. No wonder Drennan couldn't get a read on it. He was certainly heading towards the leg side with his footwork. Can't blame him for that, and I'm sure he's happy that doesn't go down as buys. Keepers hate that.
Neil in again, tearing in the young fella. Oh, banging it in, stump to stump again, and another leg by. Oh no, runs calls. There must have been an inside edge onto the pads there for Henderson, and it brings Honeybrook back on strike, the man that's looking to go downtown.
Yeah, I think at this point you certainly would rather have Honeybrook on strike. These guys would be familiar with each other. They've played at Souths together, Honeybrook and Henderson, so that might work in their favour in this franchise format where a lot of players don't necessarily play club together.
There's the big shot. Man on the rope coming around, beats him, and that's the first big dog of the innings. A big Dorothy coming there for Honeybrook, and the modern day cricketer just isn't intimidated by men on the rope, are they, Bo?
No, absolutely not. He only just beat him. I think there was a fingertip there from Nick McGill, a fantastic effort, but even if he did catch it, he was going over the not the rope, the line, as it were, the witches' hats.
Neil didn't do a lot wrong there, but Honeybrook picked that one up, and he's gone again here. Vacant mid-wicket region, and that'll run away again for a boundary. So great batting here by Brandon Honeybrook. This is exactly what the Pirates needed.
I wouldn't underestimate the left-hand, right-hand combination here as well. We haven't seen a lot of that in the Pirates lineup. So just does these little things to a bowler's line and length, and at a pivotal time of the innings, Sam Neill needs to adjust here.
Brandon Honeybrook, seen him like beach balls, 15 off 7 rocks. What can he produce coming into the last ball of this 18th over? Neil. And that's out. Clean bowled. He looked to go big again there. Honeybrook, and Neil on the money gets the woodwork, and 8 wickets down for the Bayside Pirates, Bo.
That is exactly where Sam Neill wanted that delivery. Top of off stump. The challenge was thrown down by Brandon Honeybrook with a 6 and then a 4. And the young man delivers. That's his second wicket, Sam Neill. A couple of key wickets. He got rid of Clay Beams, who was set, and then he gets rid of Brandon Honeybrook, who's the last probably recognised batter for the Bayside Pirates. So, the young man really stepping up. Yeah,
Sam Neill there, great bowling. Wasn't intimidated by a couple of big hits from Honeybrook. Came back and got his wicket, and that's what counts. The skipper will love to see that from Sam Neill. Oldwell, part of the young opening bowling partnership down there at Norths with Will Prestwich, Sam Neill. So plenty of talent at Norths. Watched some highlights yesterday, and looked like great atmosphere down at the Norths grounds. Got a talented young side, a couple of Gold Coast Wave Riders, best players as well. So interesting to see how they go this year at Norths. Back to this game.
Really good running there. Hendo didn't quite get all of that delivery from McDonald, who's going full now. It looks like he's going to try and bowl that Yorker length as much as possible. Didn't quite get all of it, Henderson, but chopped it enough to get 2 runs.
Just down leg side, and Rowan Lutter at the non-strikers end calls them through for a single. Leg buys added to the total. And it's been a good set this by Reece McDonald. Only the 13 coming from his first 2.2 overs, and the skipper will be happy with that coming in from the airport Enbo.
Absolutely, yeah. He's done a fantastic job for his team. As Lutta gets a decent slice of that down the long one, just a single though. Protection back there for McDonald.
Yeah, you love to see teams knowing their strengths, as we see Hargreaves running from mid-on to mid-on, but a key position in T20 cricket, and yeah, Lee Drennan recognising the talents of the fielder and asking him to do the big work running from long on to long on. Yeah, ready for a drink. McDonald in again.
Shot from Henderson, but just a single again. Some good coverage at long off there for McDonald as he just gets that Yorker length wrong and over pitches.
Yeah, Henderson, he fancies himself as a big hitter, so he'll be frustrated not to get anything away so far. Just the 4 singles coming from his first 5 deliveries. McDonald into Lutta. Yorker length, great delivery, jams it out to point, and they run through for a single. Great running from the big fella.
Pretty good shot there from Lutta, to be honest. He's not a recognised batter, Rowan Lutta, more of a opening bowler. But he's dug that out very, very nicely. Only a single, but love to see a little bit of finesse from the tall tail ender.
McDonald in again, another Yorker. He's bowled him. He's bowled him. Another Yorker. Gee, late in the innings, they really don't celebrate the wickets, do they? I thought maybe he'd just inside edge that down to third, fine leg rather. But the Yorker's taken leg stump, and 9 wickets down now, the Pirates, for 121 coming into the last over. And Henderson just couldn't quite get going there.
Is that the perfect Yorker, the leg stump Yorker from the medium fast bowler?
The experience really showing there from McDonald. That was an incredible spell from the big fella. He's come up trumps there, and I think he nailed 5 out of his 6 deliveries there as a Yorker, so you're not going to be getting too many of them away, Bo.
Absolutely not. And it looks like we've got a change in the bowling. We've got James Ward coming into the attack to bowl. Is this the final over?
Final over. Wardy, a fast bowler from South.
Very interesting.
Drennan letting his foot off the throat here. The Pirates 9 down for 121. The Rockets looking to bowl them out here in this last over for some extra points, Bo.
Absolutely.
Long run up from Wardy, the big tall left armour, charging in.
Doesn't mind a piece of that. Rowan Lutta.
Rowan Lutta lining up the vacant mid-wicket boundary, gets the outside edge, and it pops out to cover, and they run through for a single, which brings the new man Nathan Murray to the strike. Oh, jeez, pretty tough as a tail ender to come in and be facing the big tall fast bowler in your first couple of rocks, Bo.
And like many of the talented players out there, James Ward, 20 years old, has played for Queensland at under 17 and under 19 level. Oh. So he's a high quality player. Run-out's on here, but he's missed.
Brave call from the non-striker there. Dropped right in front of him, and the big tall fast bowler having to mop up his own fielding, his own bowling there. They get through for the single, and they all count at this stage. 123 with 4 deliveries to go, Bo.
That's that piece of running was very audacious from Rowan Lutta, but yeah, it gets through. That's okay.
For the strike here, Lutta.
He
on the fence, deep square, cow corner, long on, deep cover and long off. They've got 1 too many up. They had the man on the boundary at third man. He's now coming up to the ring. Rowan Lutta. Where's his runs coming from here? Ward in again, big tall left armour. Slow ball.
Very clever bowling from James Ward there.
Incredible death bowling here from the young fella. Modern day fast bowler. They've got to have it all, don't they, Bo?
Yeah.
Slow balls, Yorkers, bumpers, and quite skillful bowling there from the young fast bowler. Rowan Lutta couldn't get that one away, and another dot to the total. Can they get themselves to 130 here, the Pirates? Ward in again. jams that one in. Ladder bangs it down the ground. Long off coming around, and they're going to have to settle with the one.
Good fielding.
Great fielding there from the man on the boundary. And Rowan Ladder can't keep strike. 2 balls to go. It's going to be left to Nathan Murray. Number 11 here for all the Pirates. James Ward, only the 3 runs coming from this final over so far, so great set from him. Tearing in again. Slow ball again, and the finesse of the number 11 works it down to short third, and Rowan Ladder calls him through for a single.
Yeah, very nice bit of cricket all around there. Nathan Murray is a lower order bat, middle to lower order bat. Has played a fair bit of cricket out at Pine Rivers, Muzz. Keen fisherman, I believe.
Yeah, we heard he heard one of his mates in the grandstand saying he gave up cricket for fishing, so he's back. And Rowan Ladder, that's a great final delivery from the big tall fast bowler, and a dot to finish. Well rounded out. That was an incredible last over there from the young fast bowler, and the skipper Drennan, he's got to be happy with that.
Yeah, total 125 was it? It was, 125 for 9. A fantastic bowling effort by the Southern Rockets. You couldn't really single out any particular bowler at all, could you? Because they all sort of did their job. Everyone sort of took a slice, and if they weren't taking wickets, they were keeping the runs down, which was very, very important. Regular wickets for the Bayside Pirates led to probably a modest total, I would say.
Yeah, you'll have to say the Southern Rockets will be backing themselves in to chase 125. But you know what? Scoreboard pressure. The runs are on the board for the Pirates, so you can't be too disappointed with that. But first class bowling display there from the Southern Rockets, and Drennan and his men strolling off here, shoulders back. They're happy with that, Bo.
You can see a strut, can't you? There's a little bit of an alpha strut as they walk towards the tents here. A fantastic effort from the Southern Rockets, Southern Redbacks. And you'd have to say that they're in front. So we're going to take a short little break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to this BPL game between the Bayside Pirates and the Southern Rockets. My name's Bo Nicholson. I'm joined by Elliot Lyons. Elliot, we saw the Bayside Pirates set a total of 125, which means that the Southern Rockets had to hit 126 to win.
Runs on the board, Bo, and they all count. You called it in the first innings, 130 would be about par, and they got close to that. So pressure's on here right from the start. Southern Rockets going to need 6 and over to be in the game, and Bayside Pirates in search of their first win of the competition, so they're in the box seat.
So the opening batter is Matthew Weaver on strike with Connor McInerney at the non-strikers, and the bowler is big Josh Henderson.
Ambles in, bangs that one down, and a great channel to kick things off. Gee, I love the look of the big, tall, fast bowler bowling downhill here, down breeze, and great start there for big Joshy Henderson. Yeah, so who's opening the batting here for the Southern Rockets? Matthew Weaver and Connor McInerney. McInerney bowled his 4 overs pretty tightly. Left arm off spinner. Been in the NT in his off season. Big Joshy Henderson ambles in. Great channel again, and Weaver works it down to third man for a single, and the Southern Rockets are underway. So yeah, not a bad start this from Henderson. Don't mind him bowling from that far end there, Bo.
No, absolutely. Interesting that the Pirates have gone with pace on to start the innings, whereas the Rockets went with pace off. As you mentioned, Connor McInerney bowling those 4 at that end to start. I'm just reading here about Matthew Weaver, a very experienced man, 36 years old, has won 11 first grade premierships in South Australia.
That's the kind of experience you want at the top of the order, especially in a run chase. Henderson again. Looks like he's bowling a heavy ball, the big fella. Got a bit of a blister in game 1, but you can't tell that the way he's bustling in here for the Pirates. They're in search of their first win, and he's going to lead from the front for them, rather.
Ultra competitive kind of guy is Josh Henderson, and you're right about the heavy ball. He's very, very challenging to face for even class batters like Connor McInerney, who's had to prod that one to the offside there.
And a tentative start here from the Rockets. We saw the same with the Pirates in the first innings. 2 different approaches to the initial power play in the first 4 overs. The field's up. Pirates opting for the man at third man and deep square on the boundary in these first 4 overs. It's the benefit of a low total though. The Southern Rockets got a chance to get their eye in and just take their time as we see that one beat the outside edge.
Ooh. Look, he's moved around the wicket to McInerney here. He's obviously seen something he wants to force him to play, and yeah, it's just beaten the outside edge.
Joshy Henderson plays his club cricket with Coomera Hope Islands, Gold Coast A-grade competition. Hustling in here. It's a good pick-up from the Pirates, Henderson. He's done well with the new rock so far. As we see another dot, and a great opening set here from Henderson. This is exactly what the Pirates needed. Not many runs on the board. They're going to need to keep things tight, especially in the power play, Bo.
Yeah, I think the key, obviously, your first priority is wickets. You want wickets, but failing that, you do want to be trying to push the required run rate north as much as we can. We have observed that it's still an overcast day, so the ball will do just a little something out of the hand. It's a thick outfield, particularly towards the other end of the field from where the camera is. So runs will be hard to come by at different times of this innings, and with bowlers the quality of Henderson and now Rowan Ludder to open at the other end here, it will be challenging, and it'll be interesting to see if the Rockets try and really cash in at the top of the order here with Weaver a bit of a goer, or whether they just try and keep wickets in the bank.
Ludder. Oh.
I think he's going to have a bit of a go.
There's your answer, Bo. Right on cue. Weaver says, I'll have a bit of that, thanks. No fielder on the boundary at cover with the man on the ring there, and he fancied his chances at that 5th stump line. Ludder, the big, tall, fast bowler, bit of an outswinger there, and again we see a bit of movement off the seam. We saw the fast bowlers standing the seam up, had success in the first innings, and Ludder looking good early as he ambles in again, and Weaver gets that one away, squeezes it over point, and is that going to run away?
Big chase from the field. It looks like he's reined it in. A nice slide, keeps it to 3.
Oh, we see it really just stopping in the outfield on that far side there. It's quite quick in front of the camera, folks. Immediately in front of you, that is. The far side is quite slow. We've seen a few of the balls just stop when they chip it over the infield, and the Pirates be happy to preserve as many runs as possible with only 125 on the board. But as we mentioned, Bo, runs on the board is scoreboard pressure, and with that run rate heading north after only one off the first over, pressure's on Southern Rockets here.
One advantage the Rockets have over the Pirates, though, is they have a left-hand, right-hand combination to open things up.
Connor McInerney with the first maximum of this innings, and he's seen enough of that, and he's gone, I'll have a piece of that ball just short of length, and he just lost that one over mid-on for a 6-bow.
He might be in the mood here, Connor McInerney. They might be thinking, let's try and build the net run rate, build the percentages. Let's try and win this as soon as we can.
McInerney, quite a talented all-rounder. The left armour, we saw him bowl a tight 4 overs with his orthodox, and now banging a first one over the rope. Ludder with an incredible comeback there. Beats the outside edge, and Rowan Ludder not happy with that one going over the rope. He's come back with an absolute jaffer there, Bo.
Yeah, that's probably the ideal kind of delivery to come back with a man of his height. You want to be banging it in on that channel, about that 4th stump line, get it away from the batter's eyes, and see if he can have a bit of a fish outside off.
And he goes again here. Connor McInerney with a bit of a slog, you'd have to say, over towards Cow Corner, and gets away with it. 2 added to the total. And those balls on a length, he's not minding picking up and having a crack at, Bo.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a bit surprised, actually. I knew a little bit about Connor McInerney, mostly as a long-form opener for South Australia. He played a bunch of first-class cricket. A bit more on the conservative side, usually, I would have thought, but he's not minding it over Cow or long on at the moment. It's forced a field change with long on dropping back as the over comes to a completion. You'd have to say a very, very good one for the Southern Rockets with 11 scored.
Absolutely, Bo, and that's the over they're looking for. And with that competition heating up in the Northern Territory and more good players heading up there for the winter, it really does bring the players back into the conventional season in shape. And Connor McInerney spent his winter in Darwin, and he's looking in good nick early on in the season. Just picked that up off a length and banged it over the rope at long on. Great shot.
Looks like Henderson to continue.
Only one off his first over, Henderson. Slow ball, and umpire hangs him up. That'll be wide down the leg side.
Couldn't have missed leg stump by much. I feel like that's approximately where Hendo was aiming there. He looked a bit upset that it maybe just missed the stumps.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal in short form cricket. Anything down leg side penalised with a wide, and Henderson is looking for that leg stump Yorker. A risky delivery with the new rock and a little bit of swing, as you mentioned, Bo. Bit of cloud cover, the ball hooping around a little bit. Henderson in again, and opportunity for a wicket.
Oh!
Down at mid off, and Matthew Weaver dropped on 4. They're the ones you have to hang on to, especially with a small total on the board, Bo.
Be worth putting that one down in the little notebook, I think. Dropped on 4. It looks like Clay Beams is going to be coming up to the stumps to Josh Henderson. That is a big effort, and I wonder if it's just to stop Weaver from... No, he's dropping back. No, he's going up. He's going up. He's got the helmet on. So he's obviously identified that Weaver likes to sit on the front foot and play his big shots. That is a huge disappointment, though, for the Bayside Pirates with that catch going down.
Big fast bowler, that'll hurt. That'll hurt. You'd say that's a given. A bit of a dolly that, and straight away Weaver flat bats it down the ground. You see that happen quite often in T20 cricket. As soon as a catch goes down, the batsman thinks today's my day, and I'm going to carry on and keep giving it a red hot crack. And Weaver just flat batted that down the ground. Henderson, that'll hurt.
They do have some decent batters in the sheds, including Captain Lee Drennan, a first grader from Redlands. So yeah, Weaver probably feels quite confident to keep the foot to the floor, I would say.
Henderson steams in again, beams up to the stumps, and Connor McInerney just works that one down to mid-on for a single. If you've just joined us, you might have missed the cracking shot Connor McInerney played down the ground. Big 6 over long on in the second over of the day. Didn't see the Bayside Pirates do too much damage in their power play, but a few runs flowing early here for the Southern Rockets.
Yeah, there was only 1 6 in the entire innings, wasn't there? And it was right towards the end for the Bayside Pirates. We've already seen one, and here is an edge.
Off the bat of Matthew Weaver, that's the drop batsman, folks. So catches win matches, they say, and already showing like that catch is going to prove costly for the Pirates. An inside edge beating the man at 45 on the ring to the fence, and Big Henderson could have had his wicket earlier this over, and 19 the total. No wicket.
The downside of having your keeper up to the stumps too is that he may have had a better chance of at least stopping that from going for 4 if he was back further. But he is a very fine gloveman. There's not much you can do about it when you are up to the stumps, of course. Clay Beams. I observed in the last game that I saw him keep, he was just very, very clean for a guy that probably hasn't played a lot of cricket in the last decade or so, being a Brisbane Lions player.
Yeah, and we saw him hitting them quite cleanly, Clay Beams, in the Bayside Pirates innings. Looks like he's got a good set of hands and backing himself, keeping up to the stumps off their opening bowler, Henderson. And a great shot there. Matthew Weaver threads the needle through backward point and third man and doesn't quite make it to the fence, but they come back through for 3. And great shot there, Matthew Weaver. It's the end of the Henderson over.
Yeah, another expensive one for the Bayside Pirates, and very quickly the run rate required is just spiralling downwards against them, and it's really wicket time now. It has to be. They have to get an early wicket in this power play before this gets out of hand, I would say.
Yeah, and Matthew Weaver, they could have had him in the sheds, the Bayside Pirates, but put down for 4 runs. And already proving costly, as we mentioned, as we see the Tsunami coming on to bowl early, last over of the power play here. The Pirates need a wicket.
Yeah, I was getting a bit confused. It looked like Clay Beams has changed from number 7 to number 2, and Tsunami has changed from number 2 to number nothing. But he is coming in. He bowls, little offies, and I seemed to pick up a bit of a deucer the last time I called him as well. So he'll throw a little bit of variety at Weaver and McInerney here, and that could be what they need for the breakthrough.
Tosses that one up, invites Weaver, and he takes full advantage. 1 bounce and 4 runs. So the full toss there and the field up, exactly what you're after as a new batsman to the crease, and not the start that the Tsunami's looking for there.
No, he'll want to try and use the pitch from here, I would suggest, especially with mid-off up. That is a catastrophic start for the Tsunami.
Risk-free cricket there. He darts that one in a bit more, but a bit of bite off the wicket, and not a wide, despite going down the leg side, so must have caught a bit of pad perhaps, Bo.
Lovely bit of glove work from Clay Beams. As we mentioned, he's very, very clean behind the stumps.
Darts that one in, and Weaver gets all of it, but straight to the man mid-off on the ring. Yeah, full toss with men up. That's a recipe for disaster, so good comeback this by the Tsunami. Darts it in now, and great shot. Matthew Weaver throws his hands at it, and that's to the fence through the cover region. Great shot, Bo.
Yeah, I was just thinking, where did I park my car? Because I'm a little bit worried at the moment. I think I have put it somewhere a bit safe, but it might be in the cow corner region at the other end for him. So I'm a bit worried now that I'm seeing the power of Matthew Weaver.
Yeah, bombs and boundaries are on the menu here with Matthew Weaver as he goes again, and that makes it to the fence as well. So Matthew Weaver, after he was dropped in the previous over, says, today's my day, I'm going to have a crack, and geez, he's turning up the heat here, Bo.
Yeah, I don't know what Clay Beams does here. He's obviously tried to take the pace off. Now he's bringing his square leg up to have long off and long on back. He can only have 2 fielders outside the inner circle for the rest of this over.
Not built for singles, the big fella. And he advances down looking for another invitation to go downtown. Just defends that one and keeps on strike. Really feel like Weaver's backing himself in here to the spinner, so good competition between bat and ball. This will be a win for the Pirates if Tsunami can get him out here. And he comes again, tosses it up, and Weaver bangs it downtown, and a flat 6 to round out the over. Weaver, that's an expensive over, and he moves himself along to 30 from 15 balls, Bo.
So an over and a half ago, that drop has already cost them 26 personal runs to Matt Weaver. That is something. I'm a little bit worried about the safety of the small family that's behind the sight screen over here. Thank goodness I hit the sight screen and came back. There is a small child there, so hopefully Weaver can, if he's going to hit 6s, hit them somewhere else.
Yeah, wouldn't have got much higher than head height the whole way to the fence there. So Matthew Weaver, another player up in this competition from South Australia. He's going pretty hard here at the top of the order, and he's getting a few away. That was a costly power play there. Something the Pirates couldn't quite do in their innings. 40 coming off the power play, first 4 overs. And with only 125 runs on the board, they're going to have to tighten things up here, Bo.
Absolutely, and to do that, they're bringing Brandon Honeybrook into the attack. It looks like he's going to come around the wicket. Well, actually, sorry, my apologies. I think he's a left-arm bowler, isn't it? So he'll be over the wicket to Connor McInerney. Just changing up the line of the bowler and where the batters will be receiving the ball from. And a good start.
Great start there. Yorker length to kick things off. And with a light breeze going from right to left of your screen, folks, it's suiting the left armour. But with Clay Beams up to the stumps, you just wonder what the wicket opportunity is here. We've got men on the fence, deep cover, and third man on the offside to the left-hander. Oh, great take. Clay Beams up to the stumps. Jeez, he's got clean hands, Bo.
Wonderful hands. This is a very, very pivotal couple of overs here for the Bayside Pirates. I'm genuinely worried they could lose it in the next couple of overs, because with Weaver going the way that he is, this is exactly the right partnership for a guy like Connor McInerney, because he doesn't have to force the pace now. He's got the class that he can just, he can suck a couple of dots. That's okay. And the rest of the time he can find a fielder out in the deep, take his ones. If Weaver stays there for another 3 or 4 overs, this is a really, really bad result for the Bayside Pirates.
Yeah, that's the luxury you buy yourself with a great power play. And the Southern Rockets, 40 coming off the first 4 overs. They buy themselves some time here, only chasing 125. So happy to just knock ones with men on the fence now. Oh, great running there. McInerney,
yeah,
taking on the arm there from the man on the fence at third man, and they come back for 2. So great batting this by the Rockets so far.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where it is. Like it's been a pretty good start from Honeybrook, just ... but no pressure on McInerney. Didn't have to force a big shot there. Just played a traditional cricket shot behind square for 2.
Using the shape of the left armour, that one on leg stump, and he works it out to the man on the fence at square leg, and they're just going to settle for 1. So yeah, as you mentioned, Bo, the firecracker start the Southern Rockets have got off to allows them to just knock it around now with the field back. And McInerney, at least, is making the most of the men on the fence. I don't know if Matthew Weaver's going to have the same approach, though.
No, he's not going to worry about the man on the fence. We found that out in the previous over when he took Rowan Lutter on at long off and just went past him at head height.
Last ball of the over here from Honeybrook. Weaver to face. He's seeing him pretty well. Full toss, and he just guides that one past the man on the ring at third man, and that'll be 4 runs and a no ball, Bo.
No ball, so that's going to be a free hit for Matthew Weaver. That is exactly the batter you do not want facing a free hit. Honeybrook getting his length wrong, pivotally very, very wrong, and a lovely bit of touch there from Weaver. Realising it was too high to really swing the bat at, just leans on it and places it for 4 runs.
Yeah, threaded the needle there between the man, that third man and point on the ring, backward point rather, and buys himself a free hit. So he'll be looking to go downtown here. Honeybrook, in he comes, bowls it short. Weaver hooks it away but doesn't quite get all of it, just backward of square, and the man at fine leg comes around and mops it up. 2 runs to the total. And that'll wrap up the 5th over. Just in that alone, Bo, we see a classic example comparing them to the way that the Southern Rockets tied up overs. A reasonable over there from Honeybrook, but coming undone in the last ball of the over. We saw Lee Drennan being defensive in the last 2 balls of an over to tie up a set, and the opposite being the case for the Bayside Pirates there, leaking a 4 off a no ball and then an extra 2 off the free hit. So yeah, that's the difference between the teams at the top and the teams at the bottom so far. And Pirates, in search of their first win, going to need to tidy things up here, Bo.
They're really chasing this game now. They've got to start throwing some stuff at the wall and see if it sticks. They've got James McNeil coming into the attack. Looks like he's going to bowl maybe a little bit of off spin around the wicket to Connor McInerney, and he's trying to get his field right, but realistically the plan here for the Southern Rockets is, as we discussed, it's McInerney. He wants to play the long game. He wants to find his 1s and 2s and put away bad balls. Oh, like that.
Wowee, McInerney. Oh, great fielding on the cow corner boundary there from the Pirates, and McInerney on all-rounder duties. Batted reasonably well today, McInerney, and don't mind his off-spinners as well, especially to the left-hander here, turning it away. Tosses that one up, and that'll be a wide.
And 3 runs off 1 ball essentially there. McInerney, the pressure is off this over now. He just has to find his 1 or 2 and let Weaver do his job.
Fires that one in, and wicket time here for the Pirates. McInerney just looking to go a bit hard at that one in a top edge bow.
Yeah, I feel like it was a tactical error there from McInerney. He really did not need to play that shot. While they've got wickets in the shed, they're well in front of this game, but alas, the class player Connor McInerney seemed to lose his shape a little bit there, and the bowling change has worked for Captain Clay Beams, bringing James McNeil into the attack.
Yeah, we saw spin feature heavily for the Southern Rockets bowling, and it's brought about a wicket here, the first wicket for the Bayside Pirates. So great move by them to bring spin on, and James McNeil in amongst the wickets. They're going to need him to play a big role here, as we see a new batsman come to the crease. Number 4 for Southern Rockets, Martin Reed-Shoulders from Toombul. He's started wearing his lawn bowl shirts to games, and loves the safari collar buttoned up rather. Face pockets and side tabs, so you see a lot of character from the modern day cricketer, especially in the short format cricket bow.
I really liked the look of Reed-Shoulders actually. I was watching him in the warm up and he couldn't help himself. There was a few throwdowns and he was just banging them in traditional cricket shots, and he got one and he absolutely laced it. It would have gone at least 80 metres. This is a throwdown, so he couldn't help himself. Looking to maybe go for the killer blow here, the Southern Rockets.
Yeah, so Reed-Shoulders, what can he produce? Matthew Weaver on strike. McNeil in again, darts it in, and just works it around the corner. Good run there to the man at 45 for a single. So, yeah, not a bad set this so far from James McNeil. Yeah,
a leg by given there, so still just the 3 runs from him technically. The key wicket of Connor McInerney, it'll be interesting to see what that does to Matthew Weaver's style here, whether he comes back into his...
Oh, wicket time again! Oh! We see the spinner playing a huge role. Tossed that one up and exploded off the wicket. Took the gloves, and a great Great catch behind the stumps, Clay Beams. Geez, he's been clean behind there today, Bo.
Certainly has, and that is, again, one brings two. Rad Shoulders, I've just talked him up and he's got a golden duck. See you later. As it brings Lee Drennan to the crease, the captain. He's got to try and right the ship here. We were just talking about the fact that the Southern Rockets had this game well under control. Connor McInerney just had to do his job. Weavers, as long as he was there, they're racing away with the run rate. But 2 quick wickets to James McNeil has just turned this game ever so slightly towards the Bayside Pirates. Still a lot of work to do. I've got a feeling they're going to have to bowl them out if they're going to win this game. But, starting to make some progress towards that goal.
And Lethal Lee, host of the We Got the Chocolates podcast that's blown up in the off-season, working in a bit of cricket into his busy podcasting timetable, Bo. And he's up against McNeil, who's off to a great start here. 2 for 3 so far in this set. It's been a great change of pace, bringing spin onto the attack, Bo.
Absolutely. And they now have the luxury of bowling to 2 right-hand batters, so that's going to help with field plans and all of that sort of stuff as well. So this has been a really, really pivotal over here from James McNeil.
And Drennan just works that one around the corner for a single to the man at 45. And it brings Matthew Weaver. Matthew Weaver was seen him pretty well earlier, but he's had a bit of time away from facing for this over. And you see there, maybe a little bit more tentative now that a couple of wickets have fallen, Bo.
Yeah, it's probably going to change the way that he plays for the next few overs, and this is a really good chance for the Bayside Pirates, if they aren't going to take wickets, to really, really lock up that run rate and get this back into more of a give and take contest than what it has been in the previous 5 overs.
Current run rate sitting at 9.1. They only need 5 and over from here on in, so Matthew Weaver and Lee Drennan seems to be a good combination for the Southern Rockets to guide them home, but we see Andy Michael come in and play a tight roll here again as McNeil set the standard for these overs after the power play.
We saw in the first innings that Reece McDonald, the experienced all-rounder, did a great job for the Rockets. The Bayside Pirates need Andy Michael to do a similar job for them, as there's a misfield at fine leg. A bit disappointing there from the Bayside Pirates fielder, and 2 runs taken by Lee Drennan. And I expect Lee Drennan will play a similar kind of role to Clay Beams in the previous innings, just a busy role, try and find those gaps, run hard, put the bad balls away.
Andy Michael in again with his medium paces, hits a length and squares up Drennan. That's a dot. Bit of a change of vibe really since the spinner and the slower bowlers have come on. That wicket's definitely a bit harder to get away when the ball's sitting in the wicket a bit more, Bo.
Yes, 100%. But it looked like a lack of pace that kind of beat Drennan on that occasion.
Michael in again, hits a length and Drennan works it away to the leg side. They've run the first one hard. Man's coming in from the fence and they come back for 2. Matthew Weaver, the big fella, he's been put through his paces here by Lethal. But great job by the non-striker backing up his skipper, and 2 added to the total.
I wonder if there'll be a chat mid-pitch after this over, just being like, mate, I love the 2s, but let's try and hit some boundaries.
Yeah. Michael in again, and down the leg side, umpire hangs him up. Beams, just trying to cast a shadow of doubt in the umpire's mind, but umpire having no doubt, hangs him up. 1 added to the sundries. They do cost you the wides. The extras, don't bowl many extras in 20 overs. Michael in again, digs that one in and wide again. That's running away. Man at fine leg running around. Not going to quite make it to the fence, but they run too. So costly again. Andy Michael. Just want to put a stop to these extras, and they've put a stop to the boundaries, but really need to tighten things up here, the Pirates. Drennan come in. He's been busy playing the support role for Matthew Weaver. He's 36 off 19 balls. 5 boundaries into Dorothy so far for the big fella. Can he get him on strike here? Michael. It's a length.
Oh,
Great nut. Beats the outside edge there, and great take again by Clay Beams up to the stumps.
that's much better. Obviously, he was looking to tighten him up in those previous couple of deliveries that he got wrong, but a 4th stump line with a keeper up on a full-ish length seems the way to go for me.
Michael bangs that one in, and Drennan back on the back foot, cut shot out to the sweeper on the rope there, and they just settle for one. Brings the big fella, Matthew Weaver, onto the strike. Saw him have a glance at the vacant mid-wicket boundary there.
I'm a bit worried, that's where my car is.
So what can he produce here against the medium pacer? Michael ambles in. 5th stump line and a swing and a miss. Not a bad set that by Andy Michael in support of James McNeil. And a little bit of a comeback forming here for the Pirates.
Important that they keep looking for wickets now too, I think. So they've arrested that momentum like we've talked about as James McNeil looks to continue. It will just be a matter of really knuckling down, getting that extra wicket if they can, and if they can't, dot balls are good balls, as we often say, particularly in 2020 cricket. Field is nicely spread for McNeil's over. There probably are some opportunities on the offside for boundaries for Lee Drennan here, as he plays behind square, beats the 45 fielder, and just a single. There's a misfield from the 45 fielder at fine leg. That brings the dynamic Matthew Weaver on strike. Looking to use his feet. A really good effort there by McNeil, who didn't quite stop the ball, but did enough that it put some hesitation in the batters, and they prevented a run there. McNeil comes in again, around the wicket. Oh! And stumped is the result. Matthew Weaver going on the charge. I thought he had been bowled. It was that quick from Clay Beams. Just a completely brilliant piece of keeping.
Wicket time again for the spinner. Spin again we see, Bo, being the difference. And Matthew Weaver, a little bit of time away from the strike, and really maybe brought about his undoing there. But wowee, spin from James McNeil. 3 for 5 off 1.3 overs. Lighting this game alight here, folks. Small total on the board, and brave call to bring the spinner on, but wow, Ebo, he's bringing the heat for the Pirates. 3
wickets has been his reward, and he has turned this game on its head, McNeil. After a fairly decent effort with the bat earlier on, he would have liked to have scored more runs after the start than he made, but he's more than making up for it here with 3 key wickets, including both openers. So he's brought number 21 Reece McDonald to the crease, the 37-year-old. He did a fine job with the ball towards the back end of the first innings, and he has a very big role to play here. Lee Drennan needs to show some leadership and get he and the experienced McDonald through the next 3 or 4 overs, I would say.
Yeah, and McNeil bringing the Pirates back into the contest here. 3 for 5 off 1.3 off spinners. You feel like this wicket's really well suited to the spinner. Just a bit slower, ball sitting in the wicket perhaps, and nobody really able to get McNeil away so far, Bo.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job, bowling really good lines. His length has been very consistent. Throws that one up.
Tosses that one up, and looks like it'll be byes. Yeah, he's really varying his speed here, McNeil. Got a man out on the cover boundary, long off, deep square and long on for the viewers at home that can't see. And yeah, nobody really able to get a hold of him so far, just the 1s and 2s coming from the bat. McNeil in again around the wicket as the man moves back at the mid-wicket boundary. quicker through the air there, and Drennan uses his feet and works it out to that man on the mid-wicket boundary. That's just gone back for a single. They'll take this, the Pirates, and McNeil, clever bowling this, bringing them back into the game here. It's that run rate comes back to level. Sitting at 8 and over at the moment. Only needs 6 and over to win, and quicker through the air there from McNeil, but the umpire's going to hang him up. Oh, gee, it is tough, isn't it? The wides in T20 cricket, Bo.
Yeah,
much room to move for the bowlers.
Absolutely not, as he comes in again. Another sharp one. That was a much better line though, especially to a new batter. You want them trying to hit it off the square from an off stump line, and that a successful over for the Bayside Pirates yet again from James McNeil. So yeah, while you'd still say the Southern Rockets would expect to be in front, still it is starting to be a bit more of a tentative lead at this stage, I would say.
Yeah, and we see the experienced McNeil tying out his set again there. Great set, and he just put a lid on it with a couple of quicker ones late in the over just to protect the damage, and another ripper set from McNeil. 3 for 7 off his 2, and Clay Beams, the skipper, will be happy with that. As we see Andy Michael coming in from the airport ends. Grundle's in, digs that one down. Drennan rocks back and pulls it out to the man on the square leg boundary for 1. Yeah, beautiful day for cricket here today, Bo, but as you mentioned, a little bit of cloud cover, so the medium pacer bowling dibbly dobblers will really fancy himself here with the seam up. A little bit of movement in the air, a little bit off the wicket. Looks like it's well suited to the medium pacer.
Interesting to see that Clay Beams has dropped back for Reece McDonald.
Full toss, and the new batsman, Reece McDonald, doesn't get much of it, and just the one out to the sweeper on the cover boundary brings Drennan back on strike.
I wonder what the strategy is behind Beams going up to the stumps for Drennan and back for McDonald. Obviously, maybe not as worried about McDonald's footwork and more worried about giving himself as much chance as possible to catch any edges that comes his way.
Digs that one in, and what's that hit? It looks like it maybe might have got flesh on Drennan there. The medium pacer bumping it up with the keeper up to the stumps. Brave move, but he gets away with it, and another dot to the total. They all count now, Bo. Especially
when the captain is the keeper, you don't want to be throwing any surprises at your keeper. That's unpleasant.
And a nice fuller one there at the toes of Drennan, but he works that one around, and great work by the sweeper on the leg side boundary, coming in and just keeping it to 1. It's been a good comeback here in the middle overs by the Pirates. It's a good partnership this by Andy Michael and James McNeil, the off spinner.
Credit to the sweeper fielder out there, Harry Clark Burnham, HCB.
And a few dots has brought about an aggressive stroke, and that's out. Andy Michael with the breakthrough, and a few dots brings about an aggressive stroke, Bo, and that's wicket time again for the Bayside Pirates. 4 for 70.
I feel like the Rockets would have seen the way the Bayside Pirates innings went with the steady flow of wickets throughout those 20 overs. And they should have learned a lesson from that. And the lesson is it is so key to have set batters in these sort of conditions with the ball swinging around, the outfield being a bit slow, and that 1s and 2s are super valuable to your team effort. Alas, some big shots have created some wickets for them. And it brings Sam Neill to the crease, who was very impressive with the ball, I thought. Sam Neill, asked to bowl some pretty tricky and challenging overs towards the end of the innings. And he looks like a pretty stocky lad, so I imagine he can hit a big ball. I think the key will be, though, to spend some time just rotating strike for a while.
Yeah, so he joins Drennan in the middle, the skipper having a word to him there before they commence play. But yeah, Sam Neill, 26 off 21 yesterday in club cricket for Norths. 2 boundaries and a maximum, so he can clear the rope, the young fella. Drennan to face. Michael ambles in, digs that one down, and Drennan pulls it onto the onside quick single, and that's good running by the new man to the crease, Sam Neill. sends him, I was going to say on to strike, but that's the end of the over.
Mm.
And things have really tightened up here for the Pirates. Many boundaries coming off the last few overs, and a good partnership by Andy Michael and James McNeil. Interesting to see where the Southern Rockets go from here. Experienced man at the crease, Lee Drennan, the skipper for the Southern Rockets. What's he saying out there, Bo?
I think he's saying, stay with me, mate. Stay with me. Let's look for those 1s and 2s we just achieved right at the end of that over. What I'm curious about is the fact that Brendan Honeybrook appears to be coming into the attack at this end, which is the end that James McNeil's taken 3 wickets in 2 overs. It's a big call from Clay Beams. Maybe there's like a pre-existing plan for Drennan and for Sam Neill. I'm curious to see if it works, especially with Clay Beams up to the stumps again.
Drennan pulls that one out. They've got protection out there at square leg, but it is a long boundary. And just the one. But yeah, interesting call, as you say, Bo, but you feel like maybe in the back of his mind, Clay Beams is thinking about the power surge, and with McNeil being their best bowler so far, not many runs coming from him, maybe he's thinking he's my power surge man.
I'm also wondering if there's a short plan to bowl to Lee Drennan, because a lot of the delivery, that's poor. You hate to say it, but that was not a great delivery there from Honeybrook. It's gone down the leg side. Your keeper's up at the stumps. It was short and down leg side. That's going to be wide, plus the 3 runs that were taken.
They're the ones that cost you, Bo. They're the ones that cost you, especially when runs aren't easy to come by. You don't want to be adding too many sundries to the total. And yeah, as you say, you have to say it, a bit of a loosener there from Honeybrook. In again, lefty, bangs it in. Drennan rocks back and just pulls it out to the man on the square leg boundary for 1.
I can't remember the last time a pace bowler has bowled it up to Drennan. Like, it's mostly been short. He's mostly played the pull shot. And it's mostly been for singles or 2s. So I'd say there's a definite plan going on there against Lee Drennan.
Bit of a slower ball there, and Sam Neill on the back foot cuts it out. They got protection out there though, the Bayside Pirates. It'll just be the 1. And yeah, as you say, a bit of an interesting move, especially if McNeil can only bowl 1 in the power surge. He still had 2 to go. So you just feel like maybe give him 1 more while he's in the flow. Can he get a couple more wickets? Honeybrook in either way, and short again. And a misfield there at 45, and Drennan will get away with a couple here. They'll come back for 3. Should have just been the 1, and yeah, a bit of a loose over this, Bo.
Yeah.
Loose over.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I wonder if Clay Beams, if he had his time again, whether he would have stuck with McNeil, because when you have a winning hand, like with cricket, it's such a momentum game, and you've got the upper hand, you've got a bowler that's hot, surely you stay there for a little bit longer.
And Neil just leans on that one and nudges it forward a point for a single. And 1 to come here. Brandon Honeybrook, the man they call Bear, they need him to get up here. Wicket would be handy. Drennan, 16 off 15 balls. He's the danger man. Bear ambles in, left armour. And that's a great nut to round out the set.
Yep.
Just coming back off the seam there as he jammed it in, and that's the kind of length you're looking for from your medium fast bowler. And that's 4 for 84 after 10. You just wonder, now they can take the power surge. When do the Southern Rockets take this? Only 40 or so runs, 44 runs off 61 deliveries needed. So Drennan probably happy just to sit back and knock him around, but Neil, especially with the way he was hitting him yesterday in club cricket, maybe just having a chat to the skipper saying, oh, I'm seeing him well, Skip.
Put me in, Skip. Yeah, I don't hate that. I would probably give Neil he's only faced a couple of balls. I'd give him an over. Looks like the Tsunami is going to come on and have a bowl. So it's an opportunity for Neil just to have a look at a couple, and yeah, it probably is about time they take the surge, maybe a little bit earlier than the other teams have, and try and put this game away.
Yeah, the Tsunami, second leading wicket taker in the comp for the Pirates so far. the off spinner. Tosses that one up, and Neil works that one around on the onside. Men on the fence, and they come back for two. Good running by the Southern Rockets.
Good touch there from Neil, rather. He didn't try and hit it too hard. He's sort of just tried to land it just beyond the 30-metre circle, and that gave them a good opportunity, especially with the pace of Lee Drennan between the wickets coming to the danger end.
The Tsunami here tosses that one up, and Neil, nice shape there on his drive, looking for a single down to long off, but it'll just be the dot as the Tsunami mops it up off his own bowling. In again, tosses that one up again. He's almost inviting Neil to go for the big shot, but he opts for the one. Just turns it forward of square for a single and brings Drennan back on strike.
The Rockets should be happy with that. They should be happy with 2-1. Like take 5 off the over, because the run rate is their friend at this point, and the most important thing is having wickets in hand.
Oh, and that's an opportunity that's gone begging there. Clay Beams just came up a little bit early on that one, probably expecting Drennan to get that on it, but he ran past it, and they're the opportunities that you need to take in these big games against your big players, Bo.
It looked like it did a lot, actually, because it was quite a flat, fast delivery, but he ended up throwing just the one mid at it as an LBW appeal.
Big shout there. And Tsunami maybe just causing a little bit of trouble here for Lee Drennan, Bo.
And his keeper, Clay Beams. There's obviously a bit happening. Either that or Beams didn't get a good read on that previous stumping attempt, but the fact that he was only able to throw his left hand at it means that he wasn't expecting that delivery to spin as much as it did. So unfortunate for the Tsunami. The spin obviously beat the batter, but it also beat the keeper. As Rowan Lutter, the big tall man, Rowan Lutter, comes into the attack again to bowl to Sam Neal on this occasion.
Yeah, got a twin brother Sean playing for the power. You never tell which one is which, so let's hope they haven't swapped jumpers, but he's bowled well so far, Rowan Lutter. And yeah, it's an interesting call this by Clay Beams, because spin has been hard to get away, Bo.
It certainly has been, and he continues to keep up to the stumps.
Drennan calls him in a mix-up here, opportunity, and he's going to get back safely. The young fella Neil sending his skipper back, and a bit of a mix-up.
Yeah, playing off the back foot, he must have been just feeling like he wasn't ready to spring into that quick single. And with the keeper up to the stumps, it throws that confusion, because if you don't quite get the defensive shot away from the pitch, it could be Beams that cleans them up.
Lutter, seam up, and Neil works that one around on the onside. It's vacant, and they're pushing for two. They'll settle for one as the man at mid-on runs around and cleans it up there. Yeah, you just wonder if they've missed a beat here, the Pirates. I thought spin was the way to go here from the way it looks on the scorebook, but yeah, maybe Lutter just kind of loves a change of pace, so maybe that's what their approach is here as he digs that one in. Drennan works it away on the onside, down to fine leg. Comes back for two, takes on the arm, that's good running.
It is good running.
And two to the total. Yeah, what's your take on that, Bo? You think maybe medium pace is the way to go, or would you have liked to have seen spin from this end? I'm
thinking that the Bayside Pirates simply don't have the spin stocks that the Southern Rockets had. So a pitch like this just sort of plays into the Rockets' hands a little bit, where it is playing a bit slower, spinning a bit more, as there's an LBW appeal. Looked a bit high on Lee Drennan. Although you could hit him in the thigh and probably have it in front of the stumps. He's a bit of a short man. But yeah, my read on that is I would have kept using the spin bowlers, particularly defending a small total. They're behind on the run rate. They need to try and take as many wickets as they can while the game is still somewhat live. You don't want it to get to a point where you're taking a bunch of wickets when they only need 10 off 30. You want to take wickets when they need 40 off 60. And obviously they believe that Rowan Lutter is the man to do it.
Yeah, a bit of a seesaw game this now, as we see the run rate slowly starting to come back into the equation. They got off to a flyer in the power play, the Rockets, 40 off 4, and they're now only down to a run of ball as Lutter beats the outside edge there, and Yep, definitely some movement off the wicket there with the seam up. So great shout bringing the medium pacer on. Reasonably tied over. And yeah, the scorecard sitting in the balance now. 84 for 89 from 12. And yeah, they've really been able to put a cap on it, the Bayside Pirates, Bo.
They have, and they're going to continue with Sunam Gautam. Just obviously with the spin option, he does tend to push the ball through a bit in terms of pace as well. So it doesn't allow the batters to really advance too much on him to get those big shots away. They might prefer to use the pace or work him into gaps in the field. Got a ring field on the offside for him with just the long off back. Got a fine leg up and a shortish mid wicket.
And Drennan, big lunge down the wicket for the sweep there, gets it on the full, and they'll settle for one as the man at mid wicket mops that one up. But yeah, Sunam Gautam caused a little bit of trouble in his previous over. Be looking for a wicket here. Neil plays a big shot, and it's a little vacant out at Cow Corner there, and they come back for two as the man at long on comes around and picks that one up and tosses it back in to the bowler's end. So 92 for 4, and yeah, fancy the tsunami here. Wicket time you feel for the Pirates?
It has to be. If it's not, it's possibly curtains, and I know it's probably a bit tough to call it 7 or 8 overs out from the conclusion of the game, but this is such a pivotal time for the Bayside Pirates.
Yeah, and bear in mind they still have the power surge up their sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Neill, he's been known to clear the ropes, so interesting to see how they play this one. Just happy to knock it around at the moment. Lee Drennan, 20 off 21, the skipper. Tsunami tosses it up. Drennan advances, gets it on the full and knocks it down to long on for a single. Loved his change of pace today, the Tsunami. Can dart it in full and straight, but can also toss it up and give it a rip. That one's a bit quicker, and Neil dances down straight at long off, and great catch down there by the big fast bowler Henderson, and wicket time. The big hitter, Sam Neill, hasn't been a boundary for a while, and you've sensed the frustrations as he looked to go downtown there, but picked the man up at the long off boundary, and 5 down now, the Southern Rockets.
I wonder what the skipper Lee Drennan, who's now out in the middle there, is thinking, because we saw a similar kind of situation with Clay Beams being stranded by a couple of batters playing loose shots for the Bayside Pirates. In the context of this game, a good solid drive to long off for a single would have done the job nicely for the Rockets. So disappointing for Sam Neill there. Bowled really well today, showed some signs there with the bat, but couldn't quite get the job done when his skipper needed him. Brings Hargreaves to the crease. Jack Hargreaves, what can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Jack Hargreaves played a lot of first grade cricket for the Gold Coast Dolphins. He's in the police force this year, so unable to play Premier cricket, but great pick up by the Southern Rockets. Normally opens up or bats 3, so a competitive lineup for the Southern Rockets means he's batting a bit further down the order here, but can definitely play well. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see this partnership here now, as we see the power surge called. Lee Drennan says we're going now, and Hargreaves, the new batsman to the crease, is going to have to go straight away. But
yeah, it's an interesting task that he's been given by his skipper to, if you will, arrest the momentum of the Bayside Pirates, given that he's in the police academy. But he's been asked to take on the power surge straight away. I would have thought he would have liked maybe an over to find a single or two. But now he's facing Rowan Ludder with Clay Beams up to the stumps. Fielders are all coming in, except for a couple back on the leg side.
Ludder ambles in, seam up, and Hargreaves defends, and they pick up 1 to the man at cover on the ring. So that brings Drennan on strike. Men out are deep square and long on. Only 2 out for the next 2 overs, folks. So this is the power surge. This is where the Southern Rockets will be looking to take the game away from the Pirates. But With 5 wickets down, the game's in the balance. Ludder ambles in, Fuller there and Drennan. Great shot there on drive down to the man on the fence here for a single. So yeah, they'll be looking to put a few away here, you'd have to think, Bo, but singles the currency so far. Hargreaves loves it at long on, but protection on the fence there, so that's not going to be an option. Ludder hits a length, and that is taken off a length. We've seen that time and time again on these Yvonne Marsden wickets. When the pace bowlers hit a length with the seamer, it's pretty hard to play.
You say that Hargreaves likes it at long on. I don't expect that he'll be seeing too many balls in that arc in the next over or so. I imagine they'll be trying to get it through it at hip height or thigh height a lot of the time.
And just works that one away to long on and be another single. It's been well bowled so far, Rowan Ludder, in this first over of the power surge. And score moves along to 5 for 97 after 13.4. Brings Drennan onto strike, 22 off 23. Got a ripper off a fast bowler yesterday, Wildermuth. Ludder standing it up, bit taller, and Drennan flicks that one around. The man at square leg comes running around. Great catch! Wicket time again. That's a big one for the Pirates, and Lee Drennan is in the sheds. 6 down now.
I think Logan Duval, who took that catch out at square legs, playing for the wrong team. I think he should be playing for the Morton Magic, because the way that his hair was flying through the outfield there was majestic. However, it was the catch that was the important thing. He had to make about 20 metres or so as the mullet basically went horizontal at deep square leg, and a very, very, very important wicket for the Bayside Pirates. If they can just grab another one in the next over or so, they might have a chance.
Yeah, you feel like they're going to have to bowl them out if they want any chance of a win here, the Pirates. And at 6 down, it's game on. That's a big wicket. The skipper of Lee Drennan looked to go downtown there off the big, tall, fast bowler, Rowan Ludder, and only succeeded in finding the man at the square leg boundary. Duval with a great catch. I don't know if you can see that one, folks, but he must have run 20 or 30 metres to his right, and almost a lead-up chest mark from the man on the boundary. Ludder in again, and that's taken off. Hargreaves. Now we've got 2 new men at the crease, and the pressure's on to go big. It's the power. That's the magic of the power surge, and really makes things interesting. 6 down now. Game's in the balance. There's only 29 runs required, but now you have to start thinking about who you have in the shed, Bo. And it's going to be an exciting last 6 overs here, folks. 1 over to go of the power surge. Looks like the Tsunami's stepping up to the plate.
See if we can wipe them out. They got 29 off 36 required. Don't encourage me. 29 off 36 required. We have the left-handed Nick McGill coming in to bat. Hopefully he can swing a blade a little bit better than Stewart. McGill is spelled a little bit differently, but yeah, the Tsunami coming around the wicket. I would imagine, would be looking to bowl it pretty flat at around about that off stump, middle and off stump line, because you don't want the new batter having the chance to free his arms. With the fielders in, you have a chance to really tie them down as well. As it looks like they're going to bring in like a shortish cover, no, a regulation cover. So the fielders back for the left-hander are at deep square and deep long on.
Tosses that one up, invites him to go, but he just defends it, and
that was
run through for a single. Backing up there was Hargreaves, who wanted the strike, obviously, and the man at cover thought an opportunity was on for a run out, had a crack, and they get through for a single.
He's been watching Damien Fleming 1999 World Cup highlights with the underarm lawn bowl attempt. It has not come to fruition, and it's conceded an overthrow, bringing probably the more recognised batter of the two back on strike.
Hargreaves, great looking cover drive, knocks it pretty solidly to the man on the ring at mid-off, and they get through for a single. So no damage to to the scorecard so far in the power surge. Only a wicket. And the Tsunami, a bit quicker, stump to stump, but the left-hander leans back on that one and picks up the man at cover point on the ring for a dot.
Singles win it from here for the Southern Rockets, so they do still need to be thinking about rotation of strike.
Oh! Chance of a stumping there. Clay Beams had the barrels off in an instant, but left-handed Nick McGill managed to keep his back foot inside the crease. And the Tsunami, he's turning it up here. His right arm off spin, proving hard to get away on this Ivor Marsden wicket. McGill dances down, puts the pressure on mid-off, chance of a run out.
Oh, got him!
And that's out! Great fielding there at mid-off. He's hit middle stump from the ring, and Nick McGill is going to have to go. And 7 down now, the Southern Rockets, it's game on here.
Goodness, I'd like to know who that was at mid-off. I can't see a number from here. Hopefully the viewers at home will have the graphic come up. It was a tremendous piece of fielding. He attacked the ball, took the odds to it, and crashed into those stumps with a direct hit. Good hard throw. That was a wonderful piece of fielding. And again, if they can just keep chipping away at these wickets and build a couple of dots along the way, this game could come alive. And that 125, as we said, runs on the board. You never know as Ryan Walker comes to the crease.
Yeah, he's had it bowled very well today, the left arm leggy, but he's going to have to do a job now. Coming in at number 9 for the Southern Rockets, and it's game on here, folks. If you're tuning in at home, the game's in the balance. As the Tsunami comes in again, darts that one in, stump to stump. Ooh. And you hear the Pirates, they're getting up in the field now. They sense there's a chance of a win here as Hargreaves look to work that on the leg side, got a leading edge out to point, and they get through for a single. He'll stay on strike, but it's game on here, folks. It's game on.
I'll tell you what, it was a good piece of fielding from Rowan Lutter there, but if it did hit at the non-striker's end, Hargreaves could have been in some trouble, and that would have been possibly a fatal blow for the Southern Rockets. With still about 20 odd runs to get, so they've got their work cut out for them. This is not going to be an easy chase at this point. They've stumbled at pivotal times of this chase, and now the power surge is finished. I do wonder, will Clay Beams be tempted to keep a few extra fielders up in the ring just to try and prevent a couple of singles and really apply some run rate pressure?
Yeah, only 6 and over required here. Lutter, Hargreaves works that round the corner, but it's got the top edge backward of square. They'll come back for 2, maybe look for 3, and they settle for 2. But yeah, as you mentioned, Bo, only 1 run a ball required here, but 3 wickets to get gives them the win, the Pirates, and they've brought themselves back in the game here. And as you said, Bo, in the first innings, 130 about par on this wicket. Didn't look like much on the scoreboard, but you just never know in a game of cricket. And Rowan Lutter in the game, he's got his tail up, and not sure what's happened there. Looks like maybe it's taken the glove of, no, thigh pad, and that's a leg by.
That would have stung. I reckon that one came through a little bit sharper there from Rowan Lutter. He wound up a little bit for Hargreaves. Didn't like the fact he conceded 2 the previous delivery, and copped him one as it brings Ryan Walker on strike, the left-hander. Clay Beams drops back at keeper.
Yeah, you just sense there's a different energy in the Pirates now. They sense there's a chance of a win. Rowan Lutter comes in, and Ryan Walker just happy to defend that one, fall to point for a single.
Yeah, that's pretty well played, really. That's good match awareness, I think. He understands that Hargreaves, the more recognised of the 2 batters, there's no real run rate pressure if they do rotate strike well. So just prod at it, keep it out, take a single.
Hargreaves works that one, fall to point, and put the pressure on for 2, but they'll settle for 1. And yeah, there's a real change in the outfit of the Pirates. That run out really changed the atmosphere out there, and they sense there's a chance of a win here.
A direct hit run out will do that better than most things on a cricket field, I think. And that includes, I'm an indoor cricketer and it's exactly the same. If you get a backhand run out in indoor, it's game on for all money. And much like that, it's the kind of thing that gets people up and going. A screamer of a catch, a direct hit run out, those kind of things that can turn the momentum of a game. And I agree with you. I do feel like the energy has sort of changed a little bit out there. It's the cloud cover has become even more ominous, and I wonder if it's about to rain on the Rockets parade here.
Ludder steaming in now, and Ryan Walker, straight bat, just defends that onto the offside. That's a single. Gee, it just seemed like Rowan Ludder picked it up a gear there, bending his back for the Pirates, and Clay Beams having to go back there, taking it over his shoulder, really sending him down now. And I just wonder if the Pirates are up for their first win here. And here's what they've saved him for. McNeil, he bowled so well early, and we wondered why they held him till later in the game, but it turned out to be a bit of a wonder stroke by the skipper, because they need some tight overs now, and McNeil, with his tight figures of 3 for 7 off 2,
Oof.
He could prove to be crucial and a match winner, dare I say it, for the Pirates.
Worth mentioning, Rowan Ludder 1 for 23 off his 4. That's a fantastic set from him.
That's the kind of spell you want from your big fast bowler. And 3 for 7 isn't too bad off your spinner either. So James McNeil here with a chance to really put this game away for the Pirates. And we see Walker just happy to bring Hargreaves on strike. So he works that one forward a point for a single. Classic off-spin bowling this, running between the umpire and the stumps to bowl around the wicket. He's going to stick with that approach to the right-hander, as we have a deep square, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, and a deep cover, the men on the boundary. McNeil in again, a bit slower. Hargreaves works that one out to the sweeper at cover. They look for 2.
Not on Duval's arm.
Not on Duval's arm. He's been good out there on the boundary. The man with the mullet. And tight start this for McNeil.
Only 5 runs required from each over. I mean, obviously they're like a big over like Walker is going for here.
Yeah, big slog sweep there out to the vacant cow corner. Just plugs in the ground and they get through for 2.
And in terms of run rate, that's almost this over done. So again, don't really need to take any risks for this over. McNeil has proven to be a wicket taker.
Darts that one in and straight to the man at backward point. That's a dot, and no one backing up, so they'll get back for 2. That's that match awareness you were talking about there, Bo. Probably no need to take on the chance of a run out at the non-striker's end with no one on the stumps, so that might have cost them there.
Well, that's 6 for the over so far.
Tosses this one up, and Ryan Walker meets it on the full. Nobody out there at mid-wicket, and they get back for 2, and it's crossed the rope. And that's the boundary they're looking for. Full toss, and Ryan Walker takes full advantage through mid-wicket. Duval couldn't keep that one in. It was a valiant effort from deep square. It's a long boundary out there, and it's managed to cross the rope.
It looked like Thor running after the ball at one point there. He's got the beautiful big mullet out the back, but unfortunately unable to reel it in as a wide is bowled here. And I feel like the wheels are just starting to come off the Pirates. They had all that momentum, but now with just 9 runs required and just over 3 overs left, it's certainly the Rockets to lose at this point as they...
Wicket time, and that's out. That is out. Ryan Walker just thinking that they'll take every single at every opportunity, and Hargreaves at the non-striker's end sends him back. Sharp bit of fielding there at backward point, and the wicketkeeper Clay Beams whips off the bails, and that's 8 down now. So only 9 runs required, but 2 wickets to get for the Pirates, and they've got a sniff of their first win here, the Pirates.
Doesn't that throw a little bit of a twist in the tail? Hargreaves, importantly, is not the batter out to turn back Walker there. he is the more established of the two, so that's at least a positive for the Southern Rockets as Josh Connolly comes to the crease. But yeah, that was a diabolical piece of running, really, under the circumstance of the game. Only 9 required from 3 overs. Most important thing is wickets in hand at this moment, and yeah, crazy to take on that throw there.
Yeah, so 11 runs coming off that James McNeil over there. Could prove to be quite costly. He'd only gone for 7 of his previous 2 overs. So despite Walker getting run out there, you feel like that boundary that he hit through mid-wicket could prove to be the difference here. As Hargreaves faces Walker. Steaming in, seam up, and swing and a miss. Is that out?
Oh!
Gone! Stumped. Fine piece of wicket keeping there by Clayne Beams. He whips the bails off as Hargreaves just lets his back foot slide outside the crease, and despite it being a wide, Bo, that's wicket time, and now only 1 wicket to get for the Pirates for the win.
For anyone who happens to be watching the BPL who isn't overly familiar with cricket, you can be stumped despite it being a wide. So that will be 1 to the total for the Southern Rockets, meaning they have 8 to win. But importantly, losing their key batter, Jack Hargreaves. A fantastic piece of glove work, considering it was a wide. That was rapid from Clay Beams. And it brings James Ward to the crease. He bowled that really, really impressive last over of the innings for the Southern Rockets. But now they need him to dig deep, get these 8 runs of 18 deliveries, because they'll get that ball again as it was a wide. So 8 off 18, 1 wicket. This is the last partnership. Oh, I don't know. Bayside Pirates back in front again, another run out.
This is what we love about this game, Bo. This is what we love. The game's in the balance, and you just never know. It looked like the Southern Rockets were going to amble into another victory here, but the Bayside Pirates have brought themselves back into the game, and this is game on here, Bo. This is game on.
The experienced Andy Michael.
Seam up, and James Ward just happy to let that one go through to Clay Beams. Runs aren't the issue here, it's the wickets, so it's game on here, Bo.
Yeah, I rate that. I think that's probably not a bad line. You want him to think about playing but not have to, and at the same time, I don't mind that James Ward had the patience to leave it.
And he's sticking to that 5th, 6th stump line here, Andy Michael, just inviting the new batsman to the crease to take a risk. And Bayside Pirates in with a chance of their first win of the competition here. It's been an incredible display in the field. That run out really proving to be the turning point with the momentum you were talking about, Bo.
Absolutely.
So Michael comes in and outside edge just beats the man at point, but they get through for a single.
Interestingly, they haven't brought up the field. They've still got the 4 men inside the circle with 5 outside the circle, as is their want. But I think that's not a bad strategy in this particular case, because you don't want any boundaries for a start. Like, you want to have as many balls as possible at these tail enders.
Digs that one down, and James Ward rocks back and knocks it to the sweeper, coming in off the cover boundary. So 2 to come in this over, and the runs trickling in, but nervous times for the tail enders here for the Southern Rockets. This isn't what they were drafted for, Bo. These 2 bowlers thinking their role would be to take poles and keep the runs tight, but they're going to need to get the runs flowing here for the Southern Rockets as batsman. Michael, the ex-uni player, and that's a great shot down the ground. James Ward straight bat, and they just settle for the 1, Bo. Yeah,
slight misfield, but no point taking a risk. There's a pretty good bit of fielding there from Brandon Honeybrook. He's known as a funny man, but that piece of fielding was no joke. He got around there and cut it off, and only needed the 1 score, so 5 required to win. It's been a good tight over. They're bringing the point sweeper up into the circle.
Andy Michael, the all-rounder, the ex-uni player, digs that one in, and
lovely.
Joshua Connolly just opens the face and runs that one down to the man on the 3rd man boundary. That's the over. 12 balls to go, 5 runs to get, 1 wicket in hand for the Southern Rockets.
Oh,
Interesting to see who they go for here with this over. Crucial over for the Bayside Pirates. You can see there McNeil and Clay Beams discussion mid-pitch. And looks like McNeil's going to take the responsibility upon himself. He has bowled well today, but leaked a few runs in his third over there. He was tight before that. 3 for 7 coming into his third. 11 coming off that third over. But he's going to bowl himself out here, McNeil. Game on, Bo.
yeah. Good call, do you think? James McNeil, it's obviously, he has been probably the form bowler for the Bayside Pirates today, but a little bit of off spin. I wonder if that will be to the liking of the tailenders.
Well, you have to feel like it's an aggressive move, and I can't help but love that. They only need 1 wicket, and you feel like with 3 wickets in the bank to McNeil's name, he's backing himself in to make it 4 and take the final wicket here for the Pirates. And a little bit of mind games playing here. Mind games on Joshua Connolly. And McNeil, happy to play up, happy to play games here. This is what we love about this T20 format. When games go to the wire like this, McNeil ambles in between the umpire and the stumps. Fast. And now that's a great shot by Joshua Connolly. Threads the gap between third man and point, both on the ring. And they come back for 2 valuable runs, Bo. It's
worth noting that with now 3 runs required in this last couple of overs, there's only 2 fielders outside the circle. There's a deep mid-wicket and a long on. And the long on is now coming into the circle. Mid-wicket is staying back and maybe going a little bit straighter. So that's basically 8 fielders inside the circle.
So if you're viewing at home, it's a tense feel out here. Pirates, chance of their first win of the competition. Neil tosses it up, invites Connolly to have a crack, but he's not interested. Lets that one through to the keeper, Clay Beams.
Good composure from the tail ender, I thought. That was super tempting.
And a bit quicker that one, and he works to the man at mid-wicket on the boundary. He's the only man on the boundary, and they come through for 1. So they take the total to 124, and the Bayside Pirates only had 125 on the board, so they're going to need a wicket here. McNeil, he's the man of the moment. He's taken 3 poles so far. They need him to take a 4th for the win here.
How nervous is James Ward right now, do you reckon?
Yeah, the pressure's on him, and the pressure's on McNeil as well. The experienced off-spinner. His team need him to take a wicket here as he comes in. Stump to stump, and that beats the outside edge. Great take, Clay Beams, and James Ward bowled a great final over for the Southern Rockets. They're going to need him to knock this one around. Runs galore off the boundary if he wants to take the risk, and he just edges one to short third. It's a dot. Just saw him having a little glance to the onside boundary there. It's a 5-4 field, so he's going to have to keep it on the offside here, McNeil, as he comes around the wicket. Bowls it fast, and that's another dot.
This is amazing.
Sorry, the scores are level, folks. The scores are level, so the Bayside Pirates can't win. They can only draw, so we haven't seen the points split so far in this competition, folks, but this could be a first.
There must have been a revision of some sort at one point there. So one run to win with 6 balls left. The best the Bayside Pirates can do is draw it from here, or tie it from here, I should say. And it looks like they're going for the experienced pace bowler, Joshy Henderson. You'd have to assume here, Elliot, he's just got to be going for those stumps, surely.
Yeah, they need the wicket, and they need big Joshy Henderson, the Coomera Hope Island product, to take the pole for them. Experienced bowler bowls a heavy ball, and it's not what you want to face as a tail ender.
No, goodness no.
But only 1 run required. If you can get anything on it and down to the other end, you get the win for your team. So the pressure's on here. Henderson ambles in, and it's nice and full and backing up, and great fielding there at short third man by Andy Michael, and that's a dot. 5 balls to go. 1 run required, 1 wicket required for the win for the Pirates, for the draw rather.
This was a really bad day to quit chewing my nails. I'm struggling over here.
And And this is what we love about T20 cricket, folks. It really does make games go down to the wire, and quite a tactical game as well. Joshy Henderson coming in. 2 overs, only went for 11. Nice and full.
Oh!
He's bowled him! Great delivery by Joshy Henderson, and the score's a level. That'll be the first tie of this competition, and wowee, that's what we love about cricket, Bo.
Well, this was a seesawing occasion, wasn't it? The Southern Rockets unable to beat the Bayside Pirates 125, finishing all out for 125 themselves. What a match. I thought the Southern Rockets had it in the bag halfway through that chase, but just consistently applying themselves to the Bayside Pirates, chipping away, taking their wickets. And they've got a result. I mean, it's not a win, but a tie is the next best thing.
Tie is the next best thing, and can't help but wish that we were going to a super over with scores level there. But tell you what, the Bayside Pirates will take any points they can get. They're first of the competition, and what an exciting game. If you were tuning in at home, folks, that's arguably one of the best games we've seen so far, and a great comeback in the field there by the Bayside Pirates. They really brought themselves back into that with some classic fielding. Absolutely.
Congratulations to both teams. It was a fantastic game. The first game on here was a close win for the Moreton Magic. This was a tie, so I can't wait to see what the next game brings.
Yeah, that's T20 cricket at its finest as we see the teams shaking hands. They'll split the points here, folks, so thanks for tuning in. The Bayside Pirates draw with the Southern Rockets.